Welcome back to Frequency Intuitive. Thank you for joining me here today. I am so happy that you're here. Before we get started, I encourage you, do a little self-care. Do something nice for yourself right now. Drink a glass of water, change into something more cozy, get yourself a warm beverage, put a little face mask on, take 2 deep breaths, or pat yourself on the back and say, I love you. Hand on heart, you're doing a good job, you're amazing, whatever it is, a little something for yourself here before we get started. So this is all about your next bloom. There is so much energy in the collective about thriving, about glow ups, about upgrading. Now, disclaimer, this isn't about self-improvement in the sense of you should go fix yourself because there's something wrong with yourself, because you are absolutely perfect, unique, just as you are, right where you are. This is not about pushing yourself. This is about allowing and us discovering and having a curious spirit about what you're blossoming into next. Just like Mother Nature, with all their beautiful cycles, you may have been in a phase of releasing, you may have been in a hermit winter phase like I am in now and loving it because I'm a Virgo, so that hermit card is my nature. You may have been in that sense of inner struggle. You may feel like you've been in survival mode. Wherever you are in the spectrum, beautiful upgrade, expansion. The ball bounces down, the ball always bounces up. That is the law of the universe. So we are looking at this beautiful bouncing up, expansive, blooming, blossoming, upgrading, thriving energy that's coming into your life, or maybe already have arrived, that you've been experiencing, and what to expect. We're also going to be doing a little bit more of a deep dive into what do you need to root in order for this bloom to occur, because my guides had shown me, of course, a flower, beautiful, blooming, a tree, it's blooming, but it has deep roots. The rooting occurred before, the anchoring occurred before the blossoming occurred. And I really loved how they showed that to me, and I wanted to share that with you guys. So let's go on this adventure together. The energy here, it's wonderful. We're loving this energy. So thank you for joining me here. Let's talk about the piles. These are the 4 resonant cards. So you're going to tune in and see which one you resonate with more. You can always pick more than one. You can pick none. Whatever you feel is right for you at this moment. So pile 1, if you resonate with this card, the imagery, the phrase is the Holy Grail, stop the endless searching, inner quest. And the crystal that I picked for this pile is this crystal. I think it's an aura treated quartz. Okay. Numero dos. Pile 2, the sun wanted to come out to play. What in the heck and Bob? Did you guys hear that? I think it's the ice falling off my metal roof. In contrast, the sun, if you resonate with this card, pile 2, joy, enjoyment, life force, success, vitality, play. And paradoxically, I chose this cloud crystal. Full disclaimer, I did my nails right before filming and now fuzz is sticking everywhere. This cloud crystal, which I think someone told me, oh dang, I'm gonna forget, is it flower agate? Someone told me that once in the comments. I think that's what it is. Shout out to you if you told me that. And shout out to another viewer who told me this is a desert rose crystal. Sorry, we're getting to the crystal here before the pile. That could be meaningful. Pile 3, if you resonate with this, the thorn card, protection, boundaries, clear communication, and the desert rose, aptly chosen crystal, I think anyway. Get it? Rose, thorn, thorns, the thorn, desert rose. Okay. I don't even think I get it. Pile 4, if you resonate with this card, the return A new story, you decide. Alignment, it's coming together. And I chose the teardrop or raindrop rose quartz that my hand cream is preventing me from getting a grip on. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Into the light. I think I sounded like Gru from The Incredibles there. Is that The Incredibles? No, from, what is that one? The Despicable Me. Gru. Into the light. Let's go into the light. Okay, so take your time. Choose however you want to choose. And when you are ready, pause it if you do need more time. Then I will see you in your groups. Hello and welcome to your reading. You chose pile 1 with the Holy Grail, Stop the Endless Searching Inner Quest, and this blue turquoise crystal. We're going to read your resonant card first to get the general vibe of what are you blossoming into your next upgrade, and find out what you need to root in order, or what you are rooting, because you're probably already doing it. The Holy Grail. The Holy Grail. Okay, I feel like I'm in a church singing like with the choir. So if that's you, or that resonates for you, or you were just there, or you're part of a choir like gospel, I'm feeling that energy here. Oh, that's not the card. I don't think I've ever read this, so I'm as curious as you. Your card says, the Holy Grail is a mysterious, long-sought relic about which stories have been told through the ages. Some believe it holds the key to eternal life and divine union. Many devote their lives to discovering and possessing it. It features in the legends of King Arthur, the knight Galahad achieved the vision of God through the Grail. In Christian mysticism, it just came up, the Grail is the cup used by Jesus at the Last Supper. Oh, I didn't know that. I think I actually had heard that before. And afterward by Joseph of Arimathea to catch blood at the crucifixion. It was taken to the Isle of Avalon and buried on Chalice Hill, which is in Glastonbury, UK. That place came up in a different reading, you may be from there, which turned the Chalice well waters red. Pilgrims travel from all corners of the world today to drink from these healing waters. Some believe the Grail legend predates Christ and was inspired by the wells and cauldrons of Welsh and Celtic mythology. That could resonate with you. The Holy Grail is the ultimate spiritual quest. Many see quests as physical places to journey to, conquer, or find. But perhaps the Grail is an invitation to go inward, to connect with the grace within, to find it without, to realize that this journey of drinking from the eternal well is to find it deep within as part of us that cannot be extinguished. Perhaps this is why the rose is a symbol that goes with the Grail. Her petals call us to spiral in, for it's there that we find the nectar of all that we've been searched. Okay. My speech has ended for this last part. Let's try that again. For it's there that we find the nectar of all that we've searched for, patiently waiting for us to return to it. Stop looking without. Stop the endless searching. Turn your gaze within. Soul inquiry. How can you go within and focus more on what really matters? So as I finished reading that, I got very emotional. Like when you're about to cry, I felt my throat chakra kind of tighten up. Like I was about to start crying, either from realization or from release. So that if that's you, there could be a message here for you. You could be feeling very overwhelmed. You could be feeling very grateful. Just like it depends where you are on the spectrum in this reading, because it's a general reading. I also want to highlight that there seems to be a hawk and a deer on this card, which is slightly unusual because I think that's the only two animals in this entire deck featured on cards. So those could be spirit animals for you. So let's get into what is your next, all about your next blossoming. What are you blossoming? What is blossoming in your life? What are you blooming into? Who are you blooming into? And what do you need to root in? So to begin, I want to grab one card for what are you rooting in or anchoring in, what energies, and then one for all about the bloom. Excuse me. So for pile one, let's tap into the energy of the group here, and we're asking for messages about all about this beautiful next bloom. And what are they rooting into in order for this bloom to come forward? So first, what are they rooting? Most strongest energy. We can get into more details. It's all in the details. Fear. Interesting. Okay, and whoop, the blooming. Ooh, I like that you got isolation, some self-care and rest. Okay, I love this. Okay. So the energy that you're rooting or anchoring or, coming to terms with or really wrapping your head or your energy around is the energy of fear, which makes a lot of sense because a lot of our holding back and not being able to move to the next level in our life is rooted around fear. So it makes complete sense that this came out. And then you're blooming. What's blooming for you is an era of self-care, rest. The isolation card, in the most beautiful sense of the term, of self-protection, feeling that beautiful, glorious bubble of just you, yourself, exactly what the card said, going inwards. It doesn't mean you're not going to socialize or speak to other people, but sometimes the most beautiful times of my life personally have been when I'm just in communion with myself for a majority of the day. Yes, of course, I work, I'm a mom, all these other things are happening, but it's a state of being. And so that's what's coming up here for you, and I love this for you. So let's continue with your reading. What do we want to pick first? This. Okay, so first let's find out about what are you rooting or anchoring in regarding this fear. What else can you tell us about how they are coming to terms with fear in their life? Self-regulation. Beautiful. Exalted moon and knowledge. Drawing down the moon. Okay. So for one, I see that you're going to be exploring. You're going to be maybe finding different teachers, modalities, practices. Self-care practices could be therapy, could be physical movement, could be all of the above that you're going to become very knowledgeable about, and you're going to start to use your inner wisdom, things that have worked throughout your life, things that you are going to be educating yourself on and exploring. So this could be tapping, EFT tapping. This could be spiritual healing therapy. This could be physical, non-spiritual modalities, like just getting, some sort of physical medical report or something like this, and feeling better about where you are in your physical avatar. Excuse me, guys. I am having a little throat chakra issue in this group, which I'm not surprised because you do have the color of the throat chakra here, I've just noticed. But we will work through it. And this is going to be helping you to release this fear, whether you have fear regarding your physical body or some sort of ailment you have, whether you have fear about just being in this 3D world, things that hold you back, anxieties. You're going to be learning a lot about your body, exploring it, reading books, reading texts, speaking to people, healers, teachers, doing research. You may have, again, this is a spectrum, you may have already done this. So if this sounds familiar, you may be like, yes, so that just means you're further along on this path towards rooting this down and allowing this bloom. And this is basically going to most degree extinguish your fear, is what I'm hearing, because you're going to feel so confident in your own ability to self-regulate, to self-heal, to self-nurture, to self-balance. Sometimes our fear comes from because we feel out of control, because we don't have the answers, we don't know what to do, we feel like something is going to kind of like pop into our experience and, cause us discomfort or pain or trauma or something like this. This can be based on past things that have happened to us also, of course, right? But you're at this point, if you're in this reading, where you're starting to take back control of your own life, and you're saying, what all I can do is what's within my control, and whatever I can control, I'm going to, and control in, the most allowing sense of the word, in terms of focus on and attend to, whether that's your health, whether that's moving your physical body, whether that's using, self-discipline in order to build confidence. Because the more we show up for ourselves and we do the things that our bodies intuitively and our spirit isn't telling us intuitively that we need, whether that's declining to a social invitation if we're burnt out, or passing on a certain food or beverage if it's no longer in alignment with us, the more that we use our own discernment and self-discipline to say, I know what's best for me and I'm going to pass on this, or I'm going to introduce this and move towards it, the more we build self-confidence, which extinguishes that fear, that anxiety, because we feel empowered, we feel confident, we feel secure in our connection with source, and our connection with our body, and our connection with our intuition, that we know if something is coming up, I'm going to know, I'm going to address it, I'm going to attend to it, I'm going to listen to the wisdom and the knowledge that I have inside, and I'm going to give myself what I need. I'm going to regulate myself so that I feel better, so that I come to a place of lack of fear, which is confidence, or feeling secure, or feeling safe in this world. Let's see if there's anything else we need to know about that. Things maybe you're going to do, practices. We talked a little bit about that. Okay, so the bull is being highlighted here for me. The bull is very rooted and grounded. The bull can be said to be stubborn because the bull cannot be moved. So I feel that that's an energy that you're moving into. The more that you show yourself that you can self-regulate, show yourself that you can be your own medicine, essentially, whether it's deep breaths, whether it's taking time for yourself, whether it's speaking to a trusted person, like I said, whatever it is that's for you on your journey, the more you, like, I just keep seeing this, the bull is low to the ground, and it's steady and it's immovable. I think they weigh like a couple of tons. The more you're going to feel so secure in who you are, because you won't feel moved by outside influences. You won't feel so scattered and easily shifted. Like, your energy won't be able to be disturbed. You will, if something comes across your path, a person who says something, or you hear something, or something is, introduced to you, you will have the confidence in yourself to say, okay, whatever, come what may, I know that I can rely on my inner world, my faith, my trust, the higher realms, source, God, creation, my faith. I can come to prayer in this. I can come to my journaling in this. Whatever it is for you, I can come to meditation in this. I can work through these energies, and I will be guided. I will be guided by a higher intelligence, and I will find the solution. Like, no matter what it is, I will find the solution. I will find the answers, and I will find inner peace about this. I will regulate and make it okay. Even if I don't like what happened, you will come out the other side feeling stronger, feeling at peace, having understanding, having processed it. And also, I feel like you're going to be coming more into the acknowledgement and the realization that you are an eternal soul, and you're going to be viewing a lot of life through that perspective, and a lot of your fear will be eased because of that perspective. Universe card 21. Basically what I just said. Realizing, like, you're from the cosmos, you're made of stardust, you're here from other dimensions, you've traveled through different lifetimes, your soul is not this one incarnation. And so, unless you believe it is, but I'm speaking, the message that I'm getting here, which is that you have this expansive, limitless, invincible eternal nature. That is your actual, the true essence of who you really are. Then we come here into these incarnations and we're in this human avatar for a time period, for a brief time period. And sometimes we can get very caught up in that perspective. And this fear will be abated, I'm hearing, abated by this reconnection, this stopping the endless searching and this inner quest where you start to realize the eternalness of your soul, the resource, the sourcing of your soul with this endless, limitless well of love and comfort and insights and support and guidance and acceptance that comes from these higher realms, from the one consciousness, God, creation, universe, whatever you want to call it. Anything else about what this beautiful soul is rooting in order for this beautiful bloom? And then we're going to get right into what does this bloom look like, because that's what I'm really here for. That's what I'm really here for, but we have to do the details, the practical elements. Oh, foundation and achievements, card 4. I love that. And solitude. Of course, you have solitude, isolation, and rest. I love that. You got card 9, the hermit card, which I talked about in the intro. So Virgo energy showing up here, Taurus energy showing up with the bull, if either of those are relevant to you. So card 4, foundation and achievements. This is like your sense of security, a happy home, feeling deep satisfaction, your family feeling taken care of, you feeling satisfied, having love, and your needs met. This is like the 4 of Wands card. So I see that coming in as it may be something in your 3D world that needs to come in. It may be like you're looking for a place to live. You may be looking for a job. You may be looking for what's your, career path, your passion. You may have some things in your 3D realm. Interesting, you have 2 rainbows here. I don't know if you can see that. One shining out from the bull here and one over the house here. So I'm going to put those in alignment with each other. But I feel like you're going to be finding solutions or nailing down some details regarding some of your 3D earthly pentacle type of situations. Like I said, job, career, family situations, living situations, pentacle energy, stuff like this. And then I see this being as part of your blooming, but because it's come up twice, the isolation, the rest, and the solitude, I'm getting that that's the bridge. That's the gateway for you, for this rooting to kind of take place, and then the bloom to begin to emerge. It's really going to come from exactly what your card said. Stopping the endless searching and the inner quest. This could be you practically taking breaks from external sources of information or validation, like maybe you take a break or severely limit your screen time, social media. It could be limiting your social time if that's what you feel is right for you. If you have a large group of family or friends, maybe if you're starting to feel drained or burnt out from it, it could be because I'm saying this because you have 3 cards that say rest, isolation, and solitude. Otherwise, I wouldn't be saying that, because it's a beautiful thing to have friends and family around us. Now, they can be around us, but maybe you need to just, again, put limits or boundaries or self-regulate your own personal needs. You may need to voice those. That could be why the throat chakra keeps presenting itself here. You may need to identify those to your own self, perhaps journaling them. I can give you a personal example. I'm 44 and it took me like a good portion of my life to realize it's not my nature to be super social. And I'll tell you why I realized this. And I think for me, it has hand in hand to do with my spiritual gifts, but I was raised in a family that was very socially focused. Like we were big in the church, 3 to 4 times a day. My mom raised me in the church. My dad was actually atheist, which is why I have kind of like a very balanced perspective about all types of faiths and what's your truth. Everyone has a way and a journey to their own truth, and that can look like, you know, a million different ways to a million different people. But my mother was Pentecostal and she raised us Pentecostal, so I no longer follow any particular religion. I'm spiritual, just to clarify that, but it I'm very familiar with that, you know, religion, and we spent a lot of time in the church, like Saturday, Sunday, youth camps, and we had a heavy social schedule revolving around the church. And then my parents were also very social, like just social butterflies. There was always people over, friends, family over. We were always visiting someone. It was like in my 20s, 30s, and into my 40s until I finally realized it would get worse and worse and worse. I would feel so exhausted and drained after any social interaction. I would try to go to a concert and I would have a headache. I would be exhausted for days after. And so I had to really come to terms with and identify what my own unique soul and spirit needed and how it felt most comfortable. And it was interesting that I am a Virgo and the Hermit is the card of the Virgo, and that led me to a lot of that self-realization. It almost gave me like permission, because if you're like in a culture where I came from, it's very encouraged to be social. And I think we see a lot of that on social media. Like, go out, go to concerts, go to festivals, you should be doing this, you should be talking with your neighbors, join communities, and we're not all that way. Everyone is unique. Some people thrive on that and some people don't thrive on that. And so just because of your spread here, this could have to do with that, with you identifying, I don't feel good after social interactions, or perhaps you do. Maybe that message is not for you, but based on the cards here, it's showing that you may feel better. Your blooming may come on the heels of self-isolation, so on the heels of solitude. Now, again, this doesn't mean you have to be in your literal home and not leave. Everything within balance and moderation, right? But like, I still go out occasionally, but majority of my social calendar is not filled. I fill my time with my creative endeavors, with being a mom, with my, life's purpose, with my life's work, and with self-care. Meditation, I walk, I stretch, I do self-care things, I journal, I reflect, I do vision boarding and things like this, like in my own mind, not on an actual paper. But I don't have a lot of social battery. That's just not my makeup. So I feel like with the card coming out twice, this is the key to your blooming. It's going inwards, quieting down that inner world, limiting screen time, limiting the noise, limiting social interactions if you feel called to. Take what resonates. If you have people in your life that you no longer feel are in alignment with you, that could be some deeper work there, having conversations with, I don't think we're on the same path anymore. If there's friendships or things that are no longer feeling aligned with you, that could be a part of this. Okay, we're going to move on to your bloom here, because we got a lot of goodness here for what are you rooting in. So for pile 1, tell us all about their next bloom. We were super excited. They're starting with this Inner Temple deck. I'm really loving the information that came up here for you. Sensuality. Oh, I love this card. Okay, you got sensuality. This is tuning into your senses deeply. It's Venusian energy. It's actually a Taurus energy. It came up in the last reading. This is all about tuning into the moment, the present now. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are you tasting? What are you touching? Allowing yourself to really marvel and wonder at the beautiful world around us and what your body and your senses can experience. The breeze on your skin, a fresh glass of water, the sound of a symphony, and kind of activating that realm. Basically, it's a dimension. And then you have Chamber of Forgiveness, which I'm going to read. So with the Fear card, they're just showing me this bloom could have to do with, I want to say, releasing something that happened, in your own time. It just could be connected, is what they're showing me. Chamber of Forgiveness. Reads, there's no question that it's through our relationships, both with ourselves and others, that we grow the most. Through the disappointments, betrayals, heartaches, and heartbreaks, through growing apart and the inevitability of change, through all of this we grow. The Chamber of Forgiveness reminds us of our innate innocence and of the need to keep our heart tender towards ourselves and others, to soften and humble ourselves in our humanness. When the heart hurts, it wants to shut down, harden, and close itself off to the world. This is a normal reaction to the ache that comes from being human. The Chamber of Forgiveness is a card of heart healing and deep, deep compassion for yourself and others too. It invites us, find a way to keep your heart open through the hurt, the blame, the betrayal, the anger, and the shame. Not to shut it down or close your heart over or harden yourself from life. Our grief is evidence of how much we love, for it's impossible to live with an open heart and not experience hurt or grief. Forgiveness has a mysterious timing and you cannot rush it. But there comes a day, often after many tears have been shed and the candles have been lit, that the heart doesn't ache like it did before. We may find a softness in our voice where there was previously sharpness and pain. This is the energy of the Chamber of Forgiveness. It's a process that's unfolding with us always. And if this card appears for you, then the chances are this process is intelligently unfolding with you too. Oof, I love that. I love that. I'm actually going to read the sensuality card too, because it's just too good not to, because it's just such a blooming card. It basically could be the poster child for the bloom. Sensuality is different from sexuality. Sensuality embraces the pleasures of life. Sensuality is out of the senses, and the senses are of the body. The best way to get into the present moment and connect with the pulse of life is to become aware of your senses. Smell, taste, touch. What do you feel? What do you see? What do you hear? And listen with your whole body. Experience life more fully. The body's senses are so often repressed or numbed out. Savoring them is a spiritual practice. Returning to them is deeply healing. The body is the way home. Without the senses, deep joy isn't possible. Without the senses, pleasure isn't possible. And without the senses, intuition isn't possible. The body is intuitive. The sensual body is sacred. Return to the present moment through the gateway of your senses. Return to the pleasures of life through the gateway of your senses. Caress yourself, embrace yourself, experience yourself more fully. Receive the pleasure of this human life through your body's senses. This card is an invitation to receive more pleasure, to slow down and taste life a little more deeply, to make decisions based on what would bring more joy and bliss, rather than being driven by shoulds and duty. What makes you feel more alive? How can you embrace your sensuality a little more? How can you taste life a little more fully? And the activation reads, I choose to drop more fully into my sensual true nature and allow myself to receive the pleasure of life through my body's senses. This card, I'm very much getting the phrase, I think I said it in the intro, from survival to overflow. From survival to overflow. That's what you're going through. You may have been coming through a period of storms, a period of self-protection, a period of restriction, a period of feeling unsafe, feeling anxious, feeling lost. And the balloon, now this could be relatively recent, or this could have been, deep in your past, and you've been on a journey of moving out of that energy. But it's really visible here on the left side. You've learned a lot. You've really become such a well-rounded, intuitive soul from all of the things that you experienced. And you're moving into, literally this pile is the meaning of the word bloom. You're opening into a receiving, a softening, a tender, graceful period of enjoyment where you're tuning into your own self, you're lining up with the rhythm of your own soul and of your own body. You're literally going to be matching and identifying and pacing yourself in a way that is perfectly right for your own natural rhythm and flow. Now, this could look like, instead of rushing to do the dishes and rushing out to the car, and you're in the fast lane literally in life, and in on the highway, and you're passing cars, and all of a sudden you just realize in this new phase of life you want to be in the slow lane. You want to look at the scenery. You want to put on a pick a card reading, or put on your favorite song, or put on an activation or something. You want to have your favorite drink, just to have the pleasure of those sips while you're driving. This could look like you're cleaning your house, and instead of dreading it because you're exhausted and you're overworked and you're burnt out, you make it a spiritual practice, and you say, I'm going to practice being in the moment and really enjoying this. And you use cleaners, that are natural, or maybe you feel drawn to, that have like aromatherapy. I think there's new ones that are like natural cleaning products that have aromatherapy. I'm being shown that. And you kind of make it this, or maybe you make your own cleaning products with fresh lemon and, water and vinegar and things like this. I don't know why that's coming up, but I'm just seeing, somebody taking every aspect of their life that before they felt they had to rush through and they kind of dreaded it, and making it like a meditative, like honoring the life that they've created and honoring their 3D world, and really tuning into their senses. And again, maybe you have your headphones on and you're listening to a meditation as you clean, or maybe you go for a long walk, or you cooking a nourishing meal for yourself. And maybe before it was like rip the top off a microwavable meal and throw it in, or grab takeout, or grab, something like this delivery. And now you're really feeling like you sit for 5 minutes and you say to your body, what do you feel like? And you tune into that and you write it down, and then you collect the ingredients. And that in itself is like a ritual. And then you prepare it and you enjoy it and you light a candle. And I really see your blooming being this beautiful, sacred honoring and ritual of yourself. Now, of course, you may be like, well, I have kids and I have whatever, and that's all going to find its way through this, its way to weave in to this. Maybe it's not throughout the whole day. Maybe it's the beginning and the end of the day. Maybe it's one day on the weekend, or maybe it's little pockets of time, however it works for you. If you found this reading, then there's definitely something in here that your soul is wanting to draw your attention to about this. I see you softening. You could have like maybe a little bit of a sharp exterior, like you may come across sharp. That may be something that's always bothered you about yourself, or you may, because this is based on the past fear, and this is based on this chamber of forgiveness. You may have reason. You may have been let down a lot. You may have suffered through and experienced like a lot more trauma than the average bear type of thing. And I'm so sorry for all of that and for what you've gone through. And I think you've been called to this reading because it's your time now. It's your time now to do something for you, and to give yourself permission to step through this doorway into this chamber of forgiveness, which is this chamber of like this could also be called chamber of softening, chamber of tenderness, chamber of self-nurture. It's a place where you consciously give yourself permission and allow yourself to shed that heaviness, that baggage, that fear, those chains, that anxiety, and say, okay, yes, I had a very difficult life so far. My journey has not been easy. Yes, I'm stronger for it. Yes, I am now at this place. I've learned a lot. It's time. It's time for me to say, I'm shifting inwards. The Holy Grail is within me. I am what I'm searching for. And I want to really take some time. You can give yourself a time period if you feel like it's too indulgent or it's too luxurious or it's too self-serving, because society really puts the brakes on this type of inner quest. That won't always be the case. It's getting better even now. But often when you tell people this, it's like, oh, well, goody for you that you can, it's kind of looked down upon. Most of society really still encourages, maybe not in this space, but most of society really still encourages hustle, grind, how many hours did you work, et cetera, et cetera. And it's almost like a competition. But you don't need to announce this to anybody. This can be very private. I probably wouldn't announce it to anybody unless you need to communicate to other people that, you're taking some time for yourself. But you may need to give yourself permission and give yourself a time frame that you feel comfortable and say, let me just explore this energy. This is an energy I haven't really fully explored. Let me just explore this energy for one weekend and then see where you're at. Or let me explore this energy for 1 week, 1 month. Because if you feel and then see how much it added to to your life, to your ability to then turn and give to others, to your ability to be productive in other ways, I think is important here. I'm going to get you one more card and then I can feel your reading is coming to a close. I really, really enjoyed your reading. What else do we need to know about their bloom? Yeah, they really want this healing waters. It's getting highlighted over and over for me. What else can you tell us about pile 1's bloom that they're moving into? It's definitely self-perpetuated. It's a time to be with yourself. Again, it doesn't mean you can't be with other people or ever socialize. This is just a time where you prioritize yourself, a time for deep rest. You're going to be sleeping longer. You're going to be sitting longer, taking longer baths, longer showers, allowing yourself to sit in the present, sitting outside in nature longer, resting, rejuvenating. It's going to be a time where your senses come alive and you really discover this entire other aspect of yourself that that was laying dormant essentially. And the bloom is, you're going to be softening. You're going to be becoming showing yourself more grace and becoming I would say this is a divine feminine activation for sure happening here. This is not gender specific. That's the divine feminine, the yin energy that is within everything. More of that. That's going to be blossoming and blooming, allowing, nurturing, receiving, creating, I would say is huge here. You may find that once you really sit in this energy, you start to feel very creative about anything, about the meals, about even writing your to-do list, about you may find yourself start doodling instead of just writing to-do list or grocery list. You have a little heart and you have cute little italics. You're going to be just becoming this very... It's literally like a side of yourself you don't know. It's literally like the rose. I'm seeing the rose, thinking it's just the stem and the thorns, and then getting to the top of itself and realizing there was this entire velvet, luxurious, dew-covered, soft, scented, luxurious bloom. That's what I feel like is happening with you. You've been traveling up the stem of this rose, and you've encountered all of these thorns, and this bloom is you literally coming into the bloom of your own self and finding this safe haven and this tenderness and this luxurious just feeling of relief and rejuvenation. And because I see you smelling the scent of the rose and feeling the velvet petals, and you're lying on this rose and it's holding you like a cloud, and just being oh my gosh, this was me this whole time and I didn't even know. I thought because I was just really up close with the stem and the thorns, which are part of it. But now is the time to be in the rose and to fully explore your bloom and yourself as the rose and everything, all of the beauty and enjoyment and sensual pleasures that has for you to discover. Final card. I'm so glad we got that imagery because that explained your group so perfectly. That kind of like summed it all up. Final card for pile 1, please. I almost said pile 4. Is that the thorn pile? That could be why I said that. I can't remember. For pile 1, what's the last message about there? I don't know why this matters, but I can feel like the inaccuracy of when I'm saying what's the last message about their bloom, because it's like, it's so the beginning, you know? So let me rephrase that. What is the strongest message about this bloom that they're moving into? Maybe now we will have a card yielded. I think I was saying it in the wrong way. Oh, I saw it. Oh, the waterfall. Oh, absolutely. Inner power. Unbridled confidence. We talked about that with the fear. The confidence, claiming your place. I know I have read a lot from the cards for you, from the books, but I really want to read this for you because it's going to sum up everything. You may have got this card in another reading because I think it came out recently. But it's so accurate to what we've just spoke on. The waterfall is a place of power, incredible force, and activation. The previously calm, embracing waters of the running river gain momentum and hurl themselves wholeheartedly towards their destiny. With wild abandon and great confidence, they leap into the unknown. Perhaps this is why being near a waterfall is such an empowering experience. We feel the pounding energies of the waters deep within us. This card is all about embracing the power within, with this inner quest, Holy Grail, stepping forth and claiming your place. You've been working for this for a very long time. You've done the time. How can you embrace this moment and take your position as leader in your life? The waterfall beckons you forth towards your empowerment, to consider what you do if you felt truly empowered, and encourages you to step more fully into your confidence and to receive the pounding thunder of the falling water as your encouragement and your applause. What would you do if you felt empowered and confident? A part of that's so beautiful, and I love, that's why I did that deep sigh. I just felt so like happy for you about how that wrapped up. But a part of this may be, like I said, developing your voice, because there may be people and places and things that you have to express to yourself and outwardly. I'm no longer doing that. I'm no longer available for that. Period. And you could say it with love and harmony. You don't need to, be rude about it or anything like that. But there is a energy here of putting your foot down a little bit and being this bold, this self-regulation, because I get the feeling that you've put yourself at the back burner for a very long time. And this is the time for you to make those adjustments in your life, if you're resonating with this, where you identify what you need, what makes your spirit shine, what feels like passion to you, and put routines and methods and systems in place in order to consistently experience these things in your life and allow yourself to engage in them, whether it's a bath, whether it's prayer, whether it's meditating, whether it's all of the above. Nourishing food, maybe reducing your workload if you need to, introducing creative aspects. Everyone is going to have their unique thing that's going to make them feel like they're in tune with that sensual side of themselves and able to fully release and allow and receive and be in that confident, empowered state of enjoyment and satisfaction and fulfillment in their life. Really, 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 really cool reading. I thoroughly enjoyed doing this for you. I hope that it helped you. If you feel called to another group, then I will see you there when you get there. And if not, then I will see you in another reading on another day. Bye. Hi, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. You chose the Sun card, joy, enjoyment, life force, success, vitality, and play. And the Cloud Flower Agate crystal. We're going to start by reading your resonant card to find out all about what is blooming in your life, your next bloom, and also what are you rooting in order to bloom. Okay, your card reads, in summer when the sun at its highest path in the sky, the rose is at its fullest. Her fragrance is sweet and the fruit is still to come. In this oracle, the sun represents life force energy, vitality, confidence, success, positivity, delight, and the sheer joy of life. After it's left the fertile darkness of the soil, the future rose begins reaching towards the light of the sun, which then plays its part in nourishing the rose as it reaches for its potential bloom. And it does this for us too. One of life's greatest blessings is to feel the warmth of the sun on our face, to drink in the gold nectar of what life has for us, and to take a moment to bask in being alive. This is your invitation to relish your aliveness, to embrace your joyfulness, to enjoy the simple things in life, to make time to play, to be grateful for your body, to acknowledge the wondrous life force energy that's woven through all of life. To remember that your soul had a dream and your life is it. Ooh, I love that sentence. This is a wondrous card that heralds a time of playfulness, enjoyment, and bliss. The sun can also represent the inner child and be an invitation to have some fun. Have you been all work and no play lately? Is your inner child longing to run free? What can you do to enjoy the simple things in life? When we allow ourselves the space to play, problems that were once unsolvable find solutions. Soul inquiry. How can you enjoy your life more? And what can you do just for fun? Okay, so that's all about your next bloom is everything. I love this for you. This is one of the most auspicious cards in the tarot. This is obviously an oracle deck, but we all know what the sun card means. So we're finding out exactly all about your next bloom, but also what is rooting in your life so that you can bloom. That vision of the bloom can't just exist in space. It's tethered, it's rooted through the stem into the soil and into its roots, and that's at that point that it blooms. So there must be something rooting in your life. So we're going to get a card for what is rooting and a card that describes the bloom. And then we're going to get more details about both of those. For pile 2, tell us what is rooting in their life. And, ooh, creativity. I love that. And I love that, sorry. And I love that it's a light bulb representing like the sun with the beams coming out here, which is almost identical if you're looking at the camera to your resonant card. Look at that synchronicity. Even like this line here at the bottom is the same. And the beams coming out. Wow. Wow, wow, wee, wow. Oh. And then a card for that describes the bloom. I mean, even creativity would describe the bloom, but the fact that you're rooting creativity in. Whoa. Ooh, protection. I did not see that coming. Wow. Okay. So your bloom is all about, look at these locks, feeling safe, feeling secure, feeling locked in, feeling rooted and grounded somewhere. I love this. Okay, so more information first about what is rooting more deeply into your life. Actually, I'm going to get these first. Tell us more about the creativity they're rooting down. Now, this may already be like, what is it? Not alarm bells, but this may be bells ringing. All of a sudden, I can't think of that phrase. Ring a bell. This may ring a bell. You may be like, I know exactly what this creativity is. This is almost like you're like the future of pile 1, where you're coming out of like your self-isolation phase, where you're like regrouping, doing inner work, and then you start to feel that creative nudge, so to speak. You could have had a change in career recently, or you could be thinking about it. You could really feel like you're finally locking into your life's purpose or what you were put here to do. You may be finding ways to mesh and blend your passions and your creativities with, in quotations, work, and finding ways to allow and receive abundance from that. Yeah, so much circular imagery here. Circle on the creativities, 4 circles on the protection card, the rose in the sun here, circular. Like there's some roundedness, some flow, some cycles, this like energy. Even the 2 figures on the card are doing these kind of flexible hand to toe circular somersaults. I feel like a rigidity is gone in your life in this bloom. Now, you could be anywhere on the spectrum. You could be starting to come into this energy. You could be moving into this energy. You could be currently in this energy. Or you could feel like you could see it approaching as I speak these words, but you're not really in it yet. It doesn't matter where you are. This is, if you've picked this pile somewhere in your frequency, yeah, I see a softening, a roundness to your energy. It's not rigid. It's not clunky. It's smooth. It's flowing. It's like an orb. It's like a bubble. It's this perfect, like the perfection is that it's not inflexible. It's not demanding. It's not requiring. It's just inviting. It's just exploring. It's just seeing. It's just engaging. It's floating like a bubble, like an orb. Touching this, touching that, experiencing this, looking at that. Tell us more about the creativity that pile 2 is rooting. Yeah, you're in solar plexus. This is so interesting because it's like pile 1. I just realized, I don't know why I'm telling you so much about pile 1, but because I just filmed it, I'm just realizing that they were so much in the root chakra energy, and now you're so in the sacral and solar plexus. So it's like we're going up. I wonder if it'll go into the heart and the crown. I didn't plan it that way, but I'm just curious. This is so solar plexus and sacral. Creativity, confidence, brightness, soul expression. Even though that gets into your chakra, or your throat chakra, but like solar plexus is creativity, expression. Okay, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Clear your energy. Okay, that makes sense. Dark moon, clear your energy. For how are you rooting this creativity? And I want to read that because that's a very powerful message in that. I remember from the last time I read it. You're ready to leave something behind. Yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Fear is stopping you from moving forward, but there's nothing to be scared of. Okay, so this is what you're rooting in. Something in your past needs to be released. It could be a perceived failure, a relationship, a fear created by something that happened to you recently or a long time ago. It's holding you back. An important distinction to make. The dark moon energies of this card are dark as per the expression it's darkest before the dawn. Yeah, with the sun. That's the darkness we're talking about here. So when this card comes up, you're at a precipice of some kind. Either you fall back into the past or you decide to call your energy back into you. So you no longer have a part of your energetic body stuck in the past. The energy around you now holds the literally awesome power of the dark goddess, whom we were all taught to fear, but who in truth helps us to break with the past. Clear out negativity now to make space for something new and better. That's the message of this card. Yeah, it's dark before the dawn. There is nothing to fear. Embrace your power. You're about to turn the corner. Your dreams about the past are a clue. The dark moon comes at the end of the lunar cycle. It's not something you learn about in most astrology schools, but it's the powerful one of the most powerful moments in the lunar cycle. Pay attention when this card comes up. Yeah, you're rooting in this deep alchemy. It's an alchemy. It's taking the dark and turning on the light switch, allowing the light to bathe into your life, into your room. Allow the sun and the light to permeate anything that's holding you back, anything from the past. You might have messages in pile 1 because they actually had the fear card. Only if it resonates. I'm not trying to influence you at all. It's just the third time that it's come up in my channel. So if you're either from there or you felt called to there could be a message there, because this is about really it's alchemy energy. It's standing in a dark room and saying, let me open the windows and let the light in. Let me light this candle. Let me create this idea, this light bulb moment where I create some sort of light source, realizing that the light is within me. Okay, what else here for? What are you rooting to allow this bloom? What are you grounding? What energies? Yeah, you're releasing, you're releasing, you're releasing. Destiny. Oh, this is something. Look at all the purple and black here. Like all 4 of your other cards have purple, black, and gold. Those could be colors you want to work with or that you resonate with. So this is card 10. This is like the Wheel of Fortune. This is destiny, the wheel moving in your favor, things shifting, things that are aligned for you coming up and presenting into your life. So part of what's going on here, this rooting, is that this is something that you came here for. You are rooting down plans, purposes, endeavors, missions, visions for your life that you're really narrowing in on what you came here for. You may have been feeling like this, like you're like, this makes sense. The first part of my life, I was doing this, I was stuck in this job, or I was in this relationship, but now this feels right to me. This path that I'm stepping on, I feel like I'm finally figuring it out. And there could have been changes with the wheel here. There could have been things changing and shifting recently in your life, like moving out of phases of things, moving out of things that are no longer in alignment with you, shifting out of careers, out of friendships, out of relationships, out of routines, lifestyles, habits that you're like, this is no longer me. Oof, time to go. Okay. So you're exactly what we've been saying. You're releasing things. You're identifying what is no longer for you and where that wheel has to turn in your life. Where we got to shift, where we're bringing the new. We got to keep it moving, keep it moving. Like there's things in your life that you're making decisions that are allowing you to root into your new timeline, your new purpose, your new journey. And it's only on making those decisions that this wheel can turn to the next thing that's more in alignment with you. Otherwise the wheel is stuck, right? Because if you're holding on and your attachment to behaviors or patterns or routines or people or things that you know are not in alignment with you, that you know you're being called away from, what you're rooting in is you're making decisions, you're making choices that are best for you, that are in harmony with you, that feel like passion, that feel like alignment, that feel like ease, that feel right. And you don't have to explain it to anyone, and you don't have to explain how you know what's right for you to anyone. Sometimes there can be no explanation. You just simply know in your body, viscerally, you know. Time to go. This is no longer for me. I cannot sustain this. This does not feel right in my soul. This is taking me out of my energy. This is not for me. So if you know it's time to go on something, that's going to bring forth this bloom phase. Let's get one more card about that, and then we're going to go into your bloom because a lot of beautiful stuff's come up here already. This one wants to come out. Healer of the Ages. Okay, card 51. I always call this the Jesus card. I just think it looks like, I don't think we know what Jesus looked like, but I think that's what they're trying to depict here. But this is the beautiful spiritual magician energy of you can be, do, or have anything that you want. You can achieve things. You can create miracles. You can allow miracles. You can trust. You can bring forth magically, in quotations, it would seem magically to others what you want in your life. You can, like, the thing about Jesus was he saw you not for your illness, he saw you whole. He saw you in a vibrational frequency that was the real you. And so because his knowing was so certain and his frequency was so dominant, when you were in his presence, you were instantly healed. That was the miracle, because he existed in a dimension where you were healed. He just refused to see your ailment. Or he lived in a dimension where there was plentiful resources, and that's how he would bring those through, or he parted the waters. Whatever you believe in, you may not believe in Jesus, but the card is coming up here. So whatever deity or ancestor or master, ascended master that you believe in, this is that energy. It's that magician energy that represents the impossible becoming possible. So I feel like you're allowing and rooting that into your life, where you're saying, you know what, not everything here can be explained. There's more going on here, Horatio, whatever that quote is, under the sun than can be explained. I don't really remember that quote, but it's something like that. And I believe you're starting to think outside the box. You're starting to rewrite scripts. You're starting to recode old coding. You're starting to reprogram. You're starting to reimagine new constructs for yourself, for your family lineage, for your legacy. You're starting to break chains, clear past energetic traumas and dramas and timelines. You're collapsing old timelines and you're shifting onto new. You're literally moving out of the darkness into the light. And you're doing that by systematically making decisions and choices that are more in alignment with the vision that you have for yourself, which you know what that is because you're in tune with your inner world, where your soul is calling you, where the universe is calling you, where the creator is calling you, where God is calling you, whatever you believe in. Okay, I think that's pretty clear for what you're rooting in. Now, there's this like gateway portal where this bloom comes in. So let's hear all about what is blooming in your life, your next bloom. What is this going to look like? What is it revolving around? What's the general vibe of it? I can tell you for one thing, there's purple, black, and gold there. This could be royalty energy, you feeling like royal in your own life, coming into your Empress, Emperor energy. Really coming into like your, like that creatorship role, where you see your role as a creator in your own life. Tell us about pile two's bloom. Oof! If you're not looking, the gold is golding. You got the golden thread after you have the sun. Look at this. And I just said all of this gold coming into your life. Like auspicious is the word. Like magical. I'm going to read that for you. The golden thread. Nicely done. Your soul had a dream to be here now in this body on this planet at this time, and you have everything you need to realize your soul's destiny. Not you guys having the destiny card in every moment of every day. The golden thread is the path of your destiny. The golden thread holds the potential of all that was, is, and could be. The golden thread of your life is always available to guide you every step of the way towards your soul's deepest dream. The golden thread is woven throughout all your life experiences. It doesn't always make sense, but with time and perspective, you can see its intricate weavings glistening back at you at the center of your life. It's never too late to follow the golden thread of your life, and you can never be too old, for the golden thread of your life is always within your reach. Whatever your soul is calling you to do will lead you to your golden thread. Wherever you most feel connected with the great spirit of life is where you'll find your golden thread. The card is here to remind you that your soul came here with a plan, a dream to be brought to life. It's time to say yes to that now. What is your soul's greatest dream and how can you act on it? Yeah, with this creativity, this is like a little bit of a call to action. Your bloom is a call to action. Your bloom is you identifying and recognizing what is no longer in alignment with you and taking the steps to move forward out of that energy into where you do feel you're in alignment, where you do feel locked in, where you do feel connected, where you do feel secure. Ooh. I'm just holding back a sneeze. Holding back a sneeze. Okay. It passed. So that got my nose a tickling. While I was reading that golden thread card, I kept being shown there must be something. If you're not sure what your purpose is, or if you just want to reflect on it, if you have found your purpose, I mean, your purpose is joy. It's expansion and freedom. But we all have little things that lights us up, right? So that's what I'm talking about, purpose. I don't mean like work that you have to do, but it could be your soul's work. I mean, what you came here for. It will be woven through your life. So I wonder if there's something that's been in every kind of circumstance and interaction or cycle and phase of your life that you're like, yeah, I always knew it was about working with animals or being in nature or healing, or I always knew it was about mysticism and quantum, mechanics, or I always knew it was about astrology. I always felt that. I always felt it was about the moon. I always felt called to food and nourishment and the mind-body connection, or about the connection between what we eat and how we feel. Like there's going to be something that you, from a very small child, always lit you up or interested you. Interested you? Interested you. You were interested in. So if that's just a clue, if you're not sure what it is or you want to reflect or identify it further. So this blooming is you stepping into your destiny, stepping into this full path where you feel like, I'm seeing like, oh, get this for a visual. They're showing me a lock, like any type of lock, that when the alignment, when you get it lined up with the right digits and the right combination, it clicks into place. And then I'm seeing like this door swing open and it's like this sun, this like, and it's the right combination of the right things and routines and perspectives and focuses and interests that you feel this absolute bloom of the sun on your face, and every morning you wake up and you're excited and you have energy and you feel vital, you feel alive. There's no sluggishness, there's no tension in your body, there's no worry, there's no tightness or concern, because there's alignment in all aspects of your life. There's no stress, there's no resistance. Like there may be little things, but you don't process it in the same way. From this perspective, you don't process that in the same way through your body. Oof, that's powerful. I want this pile for me. I am loving this for you. I'm claiming it for all of us. I'm claiming that for all of us. This is like, I love that visual they gave me of that lock clicking in, that safe clicking into place. It is the right combination. That's the phrase they're giving me. The right combination leads you to this bloom. And you are figuring out that right combination. The right people, the right places, the right environment, the right living situation, the right foods, what is right for you, which means what's in alignment for you, which is different for everybody. More describing this bloom for pile 2, please. I love this. I want to be in this. I want to experience this. I want more details so we can activate this. This. Oh, yes. Look at the gold and the black coming up on your cards. You've got the mystic, which is so accurate with this gold, versus the machine. And we're going to read that for you because this is exactly the energy that you're coming into here. Mystic versus the machine. The mystic. What's your first word? Say it together now. Creativity. The first word is creativity, which is what you're rooting in. Look at the alignment of your reading even. Magic, dreamer, alignment, potency, awe, flow, harmony, deep connection, inner world, nectar, overspilling, unique medicine, satisfaction, unrestrained, wild, free, intimacy, purpose, unique expression. I love this so much. So versus the machine, which is the opposite of this card, unsustainable, soulless, greed, parched, external validation, reaching, exhaustion, pushing, churn and burn, meaningless, paper thin, hungry for more, controlling, shallow. Which part of the card was right side up? Oh, it's not even the card. Oh, it was the mystic. Which meaning is calling to you most? I'm going to guess it's the mystic. How can you bring both parts' meanings into balance? The mystic is dedicated to having a direct and intimate relationship with the sacred. Mystics are the artists, the poets, the visionaries, and the dreamers. The world needs more mystics right now to create and make new myths for humanity. That's what we talked about. We talked about recoding, rewiring, repatterning, creating new timelines. That's exactly what you guys are. Unique souls coming here with like a seriously intense, different mission. You are making new myths for humanity. The mystic prioritizes the soul, while the machine lacks soul. The mystic creates, the machine produces. Anyone can produce pretty much anything if they try, yet no one can create quite like you. Yes, say it for the people in the back. No one can create quite like you, my friend. If the mystic is right way up, it's an acknowledgement of your sacred purpose and an encouragement to go even deeper into this energy. I'm saying that again because I lost my place. If the machine is right side up, consider whether you've been putting too much emphasis on the external for guidance rather than the internal. Our modern society tends to capitalize on what's well received, but we must be careful not to dampen the creative spark that made it possible. Oh, the creative spark. When we use our creativity for a controlled outcome, we can easily lose the magic and turn into producing, not creating. Producing starves the soul. It turns the mystic into the machine. This is a challenge for the artist, for the mystic, to create, not produce. As I'm saying these words, my heart chakra is like expanding physically inside of my body. Let me take a breath. Wow. I see y'all. I see y'all so clear. I resonate with you guys, like I said, because if you can imagine on a channel such as this, such as thus, the voices are loud, the YouTube voice, the voice of, other channels, the voice of the expectation, do it this way, do it that way, do it, longer, shorter, can become so loud that your inner voice and your inner creative spark can get drowned out. This is one of the reasons why, if you've noticed, I have my comments closed, because I occasionally have to do this when I feel like my outwards edges are getting like the edges of my sovereignty are getting blurred. Regarding this channel or regarding anything in my life, I always pull back inwards to reset and reground. So you could be feeling like that. It's like I have to remember, okay, my purpose, my own authentic voice has to be the loudest. And it's wonderful to connect, and it's wonderful to do research, and it's wonderful to, to tune into other things and check what your other peers are doing. But sometimes your own roots have to be so grounded, or else you can get very easily influenced, right? Like it said, produce more, produce in a certain way for a certain outcome, for validation, for a like, for a subscribe, for a whatever. It's not the pure intention of the creator. Can you imagine, like, source or actual creation saying, I wonder if I'm gonna get a like on the zebra. I wonder if I'm gonna get a like on the flowering pea plant. I wonder if people are gonna really be into the tomato. You know what I'm saying? Like the creation itself came from a place of pure, authentic expression of whatever that is, of creation, of pure creative energy. It's so unrefined and pure. They're just showing me that. I'm getting emotional, so it's like that's a big thought. So I think I said what they wanted me to say there. So let's continue looking at your bloom. And just like the mere fact that we have the opportunity to express in that way, to create something here on this plane that is authentically and purely and rawly us, is so like humbling and magical and like inspiring. It's such an honor. Do you know what I mean? Like you can, not in all realms, but you can sit in your home, and create something purely for yourself. Because I'm saying not in all realms. Like if you're at work, they're going to have constraints on that about how they want you to do certain things. But within your own self, you can draw a picture, you can write a poem, you can write a song, you can sing a song, you can move your body in a way of pure instinctive, intuitive expression. You can create a meal, you can do a reading, you can paint a picture, draw a picture, create some technology, like it's just so awe-inspiring that we have that opportunity, here on this plane, and how often we overlook that and don't even engage with that energy of creation. Probably because of this contorted, twisted, dysfunctional, construct of, well, it's not valid unless a bunch of people are liking it, and unless a bunch of people are subscribing and following and whatever the terms are, and unless it's monetized, and like, I see a world. I don't often have visions of the future, but I do consistently see a vision of the world where unique expression just is a thing. And it's just becomes almost the norm. Like, let's normalize non monetized, non validated, unique expression. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that it can't be monetized or it can't be validated. It's just, it doesn't become a function of that. That becomes a function of the creation. I don't know. So I'm gonna stop now. I know you know what I'm saying, so I'm just gonna stop there. What else can you tell us about pile two's bloom? The strongest state. Ooh, okay. I tried to put those back in and they just ricocheted off my shuffle. So there's two here I can see. One is, oh yes, the sirens use your voice, expansion, freedom. I love that. So you could resonate with like mermaid energy. And I've always wanted to read this card. I'm reading this for you because I don't know what it means. And I almost picked it as like a resonant card for a different reading just because I was so curious to read from the guidebook and I still haven't. It says on call, EN space CAUL. On call. Nicole, I don't know if that's a language or like Latin or something. Healer, seer, priest, priestess, priestess, soul, purpose. I want to read this card because that makes so much sense for what deck is this? Oh, for what we just talked about. Okay, this reads the folklore of many different places, including Iceland, France, Holland, Albania, England, and Germany, have tales about a rare event called an on-call or veiled birth. This occurs when the mother goes into labor, but her waters fail to break, and the baby appears in this world, still inside the amniotic sac in which it gestated. According to tradition, children born on call have second sight and gifts of healing. In Scotland, they were seen as good omens, and fishermen sought out birth call, the amniotic sac, as an amulet to protect them from drowning. In ancient Egypt, they were believed to be future priests, priestesses, or priestesses of the community. This is the card of the healer, the seer, the wisdom keeper, and the mystic. Perhaps you're already on this path, or perhaps it's something new for you. The healer, the shaman, the medicine person knows that it's through facing their own shadow and taking their own deep healing journey that they can return to guide others in their healing. I feel like that's key for you. The healer is, like all of us, in our own spiral of transformation and healing. Healed isn't a stagnant state. The healer knows they're not meant to be perfect and whole all the time. Instead, it's because they've journeyed to the deepest, darkest, uncharted, oceanic caves and returned with an open heart and mind that they're able to hold space for another. This card is an acknowledgement of your role in the world and the deep work you've been doing on your own healing journey. Yeah. How can you answer the call of your soul in the fullest expression today? So for a lot of you, like the card said, this is about you have explored your inner depths, the darkness of maybe the things that have happened in your life, dealing with traumatic events, dealing with your shadow self, facing it, navigating it, exploring it. And now that you've come to this threshold point, like the clear your energy card said, this point of precipice, you're on a precipice, it said. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here in this time to go card. Like she's walking down this plank, so to speak. And I heard, will she jump? Will they jump? Will he jump? Jump into this new timeline. Jump into this wheel of destiny. And this may be part of your soul's purpose, teaching others, facilitating healing in some sort of way, holding a safe space, calling others into their inner space, their inner world. This may be part of this bloom. It may be a completely different career or soul purpose than you began in this incarnation. It may seem like a complete 180 to others. But for you, it's right on point. I'm also going to read you the Sirens card because I think it's really going to explain the energy of this bloom that you're in, like your character traits and the persona you might start to feel bubble up within you, using your voice, expansion, freedom. In Greek mythology, the sirens were half woman, half bird sea creatures that would entice fishermen and sailors with their sweet and sensual songs. Free and empowered, they were not afraid to share their voice and use their natural gifts to attract what they wanted. This card is an invitation. Own your gifts, share your voice, and surrender into the most expanded version of who you are. That should be the title of this reading. Bloom. Surrender into the most expanded version of who you are. Maybe I will do that. To give yourself the music that plays within. To share your song without wavering, to be free and to dance unrestrained. In life, there is opportunity to become more and more alive and free with each passing day. However, most of us feel more and more trapped by the life that we've consciously created. What do you need to do to embrace life fully? How can you step into your most expansively bloomed self? I added bloomed. Often, while we're growing up, we experience hurt, losses, and endings that we fail to address. Those memories stagnate within us, and it becomes harder to dance and sing. However, every moment of your life is an opportunity to change, to thrive, and to grow. Every moment is an opportunity to express yourself, to find your natural, unique way to dance and sing. How are you being called to share your voice and expand into your most alive, empowered self? Yeah, this is about soul discovery. You're discovering what is joy to you, what is expansion, what is expression, what do you want to express, how does it sound, what is your pace, what is your rhythm, what is your flow, what is your, I keep hearing canter, but what is that? Isn't that like a horse cantering? Like your cadence, your who you are, how you speak, how you invoke, what you activate in others, what you activate in yourself. And like it said, it's to attract in what you want also. It's not for, a means without end. A means without end. I don't know if that's the phrase, but you know what I'm saying. It's not for nothing. It is for nothing. It's to completely freely express yourself. But it also, that resonance, that frequency will draw in everything to you. That's an attractive state. Pure authenticity is an attractive state. I didn't mean attractive like, attractive, but it's also physically attractive to people. It's inspiring to people, but it's also attractive in the universe because you're being pure. It's a pure frequency that will draw to you what you need and what you desire in this world. I'm going to get you one more card for this bloom because I have this beautiful open space here. What else can you tell us for pile 2? I just want a oomphy card. Let's get this deck. We didn't get this for anybody. Pile 2. Anything else you want to tell us? Thank you for this beautiful message. A lot has come through. This one is showing itself. Weight of the world. Oh, I love this. Oh, your bloom is your letting go. Weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. Oh, I love that. And look at this individual just bathing in this shimmering, glimmering water. Just feeling weightless, feeling free, feeling alive. This clear your energy card. This time to go. I love your reading. Your bloom is going to feel so easy for you to be in. I was going to say so easy for you to carry, but you're not even carrying anything. You're bathing in this bloom. You're bathing like this figure in a weightless water of stardust where you just feel held, you feel seen, you feel safe, you feel protected, you feel warm, you feel secure, you feel provided for, you feel authentic. There's no masking, there's no producing, there's no striving, there's no grinding, there's no hustling. It's pure allowing, it's pure resonance, it's pure alignment, it's harmony. You're locked in there. It's expansive. They keep wanting to highlight that. It's not like you're going to find this one thing in your bloom, because we're expanding forever. Like we're never not going to be blooming. But within this, you're going to have this realization that it's so limitless. You're limitless. One day it may be this, the next day it may be that. You're going to be so in tune with the rhythm of your soul, and it's just going to allow and flow through you experiences, interaction, co-creating, methods, systems, routines, habits. It's all going to be changing and exchanging and interacting and evolving and growing and flowing. And one day you may feel like doing nothing and just being, and then the next day you may feel expansive and social and wanting to be seen. And you're going to find your comfort in that ebb and flow, in the yin and the yang, and the yin and the yang, whichever you prefer. You're going to, this bloom is going to be, they're showing me a multitude of variations of flowers, and how you won't stop at saying, I am the rose. You will then be, I am the lilac. I am the peony. I am the poppy. I am the sunflower. And it's going to be all these expressions of yourself blooming. One day I'm this, the next day I'm that. I am the seed. I am the seedling. I am the root. I am the trunk. I am the thorn. I am the flower. I am all of it. And you're going, because you're so comfortable in all of it. And you're also going to be a light and a leader to others around you, but that's not your main intention. That's just like a side effect. Really beautiful, powerful, gorgeous, brilliant, fascinating, light-filled reading. Thank you so much for being here. I'm honored truly to have done this and be in this energy. It was beautiful and fantastical, and I love this for you. If you did feel drawn to one of the other groups, then I'll see you there shortly. And if not, I'll see you in another reading on another day. Bye. Hello, pile 3, and welcome to your reading. Sorry that I was so loud in that intro. I felt like it was a little much for you. That's why I'll just acknowledge that. We're going to read your card that I've suddenly misplaced the guidebook. Okay. The Thorn. I'm very curious about this because I have never read this particular card before. The Thorn reads, no, I didn't find it. This reading is progressing different from the others. Which I am not mad at, because I like a little unusual energy. The rose is the queen of all flowers. Her soft and often fragrant bloom takes our breath away from near and far. A bridge between heaven and earth, she has the capacity to act as a portal to our true selves. You guys are being your true self. I'm getting that, because even the way that I'm speaking, can you hear my voice? Like, if you want to hear the difference, click off to pile 1, where my throat chakra was like really underactivated and I was having trouble speaking and I was like raspy, and kind of here I feel like this clear oxygenated breath of life. So if you resonate with that, you are in the right place, my friends. She has the capacity to act as a portal to our true self and call our soul more fully into our body. She leaves us in awe, allowing us to experience heaven on earth for a very precious moment. But the rose is not all gentle and soft. In fact, most roses are armored with spiky thorns and prickles of various shapes and sizes. So if you resonate with having some spiky, prickly parts, these sharp protectors act like knights defending their queen, clearly setting the necessary boundary and conditions for her to do what she was born to do. We too are like the rose. So often we don't get taught how important clear communication and loving boundaries are to our relationships. When we're not clear on our needs, when we don't communicate them, when we don't take responsibility for them, it is impossible for others to give us what we need. This often results in a breakdown in the relationship. Communicating our needs and establishing our boundaries allows not us to feel safe, but those we're in a relationship with to feel safe too. This card delivers the message of the importance of clear communication, boundaries, and taking responsibility for our needs. To be clear with others, we must first be clear with ourselves, and then communicate this to our loved ones and the world. Soul inquiry. What loving boundaries are you being called to establish? How are you being called to communicate clearly to those you're in relationship with? Okay. I'm very comfortable speaking on this topic. Your girl has some boundaries and she has some ways of communicating them. Now, it took me a long time to get there, but I'm not going to speak on that unless it comes up, but I'm just saying. Because we want to hear all about your next bloom, what you are rooting in order to bloom, because like the rose, we need to have roots like any plant in order for the bloom to arise and unfold. So let's get one card for what are you rooting in, strongest energies, and what is strongest energy describing your next bloom. So before I do that, earlier when I said you may feel very like rooted in your purpose and true to yourself, this reading is a spectrum. So you may feel on that path and trajectory, or you may feel very far from that. But regardless, you're calling that in, you're in that frequency. So just wherever you are on the spectrum, you may have not stepped into that yet, or you may already be like, yes, I had to make some difficult calls or overcome some challenging circumstances. Just taking a deep breath because your energy is very powerful. Just so I can facilitate this in an organized way. For the first card, My Organized Chaos, what's the strongest energy describing what the viewer is rooting in preparation for the bloom? There's a lot, so let's take that one. And strongest energy, that would be descriptive of the bloom. This bloom, because you have endless blooms. Okay, so strongest energy, protection. That came out in pile 3 if you're from there for their bloom. So protection, and of course, the first word on your card is protection. The thorn, protection, and then you got the protection card. Love the alignment here. And describing your bloom, is death. I love that. Of course you guys would get that. Of course this pile, because you guys are so unique, of course you would get the death card for describing your bloom, which is like transformation. That's the ultimate transformation card, is the death card. The ultimate releasing of the old, dying to an old identity, dying to old constructs, allowing dead things, just like the tree, just like plants, allowing all that dead leaves and burdens and oldness and anything not in alignment to fall away. The purest of the bloom is the death card. I love that you got that describing your bloom. Okay, so first let's do your rooting. And you got 2 black cards, so that could be a color or a non-color, the lack of color that resonates for you. You could wear a lot of black or just like kind of resonate with that energy. Sorry, just tuning into something there. Okay, so let's get more information for what are you rooting in? Protection. Yeah, you are getting serious about what you need, and you're becoming unafraid and unapologetic in explaining that. And okay, it doesn't need to be harsh. It doesn't need to be rude. It's none of that. It's just that there is a strength and a firmness to it. And that does make people uncomfortable, including ourselves. Because we sometimes are people pleasers. We sometimes want to be lovely and light and gentle and kind. And then when someone pushes our boundary, or someone tries to get away with something, or someone tries to influence us out of our own path, there are times when those thorns, like it said, the knights that protect the queen, have to come out and say, okay, said it nice a couple times. Now I'm going to say it a little clearer, a little firmer for you. A little louder if I need to, or I'm going to say nothing at all, and I'm just going to remove myself from this situation. That's coming up, if that resonates. So what are you rooting in? But that's definitely transformation. Guys, you got the death card with the death card. the way you're reading is so aligned. Your first card is the Thorn, protection. You pulled protection. Then you got the Death card representing your bloom energy, which is number 13, the Death card, which represents transformation, like I explained. And you got transformation with this butterfly coming out of this mask here. Your energy is profoundly intense. It's crisp. Like I said, it's crisp. It feels like pure, oxygenated. Have you ever just got a lung full of clear, fresh air and you're like, you feel empowered, you feel clear and certain and steady and aligned and focused? That's your energy. It's beautiful. I love this for you. I love reading this for you. Okay, so what you're rooting in, that's what we were reading, is this transformative energy. You are rooting in the absolute release and shedding of an old identity, old influences, past timelines. You're allowing old timelines to collapse. You're restructuring, you're repatterning, you're rewriting your own story. Like, it's so powerful. I'm holding myself back from shouting. What else for what they're rooting in to come into this bloom? This pile, I know I already said it, the power of this pile emanating from this space. Wow. Like, I feel like I have enough energy to generate, like, lighting up a few city blocks right now from your alignment. The alignment is powerful. Okay, this one. Truth. Ooh, card 20, that's judgment. Coming into some internal truths. A day of reckoning. No more, no more, no more will you lie to yourself. I love this. The scales balancing out. Truth, justice, fairness, alignment, harmony, finding balance in your life. Coming into just a knowing and a connection with what is right for you. An unshakable truth of what is right for you, what your purpose is, how you move, what your power is, what your influence is, what your, and all in a positive way. I'm not saying power or influence like in a negative way. I'm saying like your power to light up a room, your influence to positively hold a high frequency in a situation of compassion and love, to bring light into this world. Like, this is intensely beautiful. What else for pile? Oh, 3. You got death and judgment, 2 super powerful cards in the tarot. Yeah, you're so in alignment, like things that double up. Like I said, it's like, not only does it happen once, it happens twice. It's like it reassures, it mimics, it mirrors, it shows what's within is without. You feel abundant, you have abundance. You feel like, I know I'm getting into your bloom part. You feel so protected, not only by like the higher forces, but your angels and your guides and your ancestors and all that, but by your own energy, because you recognize the power of being rooted in a high frequency, and that by the law of attraction, like will attract to that frequency. So you're bringing in circumstances and interactions and co-creating that is in alignment with you, to the point that like you don't even have to check with your gut. Like, you just know and you trust, because it's, you know that you're so rooted in there. It's like a pure, I'm seeing this like a stream. It's like a pure stream of alignment. So you know what comes to you is for you, because it's like attracts like. It's like these locks lining up. It's resonance. There's no dissonance. It's resonance. So you trust that there's no dissonance, because you're only attracting resonant frequencies, because you're rooted there. You don't have as much of a wobble as you used to. You're very steadfast. Okay, you got release blocks, and you got do nothing, void moon. Okay, I love that do nothing card. I feel like I might be out of the frame here. Little tweak, little adjustment. So many cards you pulled that are black here. Card 20 and card 13 are both black, and this release blocks the falling moon. I'm going to read that one because I've never read it before. If I haven't read, I know the void moon is do nothing. This encourages, if you're not sure what to do about something, just do nothing. Allow at least 24 hours where you let the energy settle, the momentum to fade. This is about rooting, though, so I'm not really taking that as that traditional meaning of the card. I'm taking this as you're going to get to a place where you realize that doing nothing is more impactful than defending, than going head to head something. You simply remove your energy. Like I said, you simply go where you want to be instead of pushing back against where you don't want to be. If something is not in alignment with you, you simply move towards what is in alignment. You're no longer fighting. Your swords are no longer up. It's very powerful. This is high, like priestess, priestess, mystic, high spiritual master energy. Just FYI. Like you got your ish together here. But I want to see the release blocks because I don't remember if I've ever read that card. I might have, but I don't remember what it says besides the obvious. Something that keeps happening that I'm trying to figure out how to explain to you is I keep blinking like something's in my eye, but nothing's in my eye. But like things aren't in focus or they're coming into focus. The point is, my guides are telling me they just want to acknowledge that it's almost like, because when you get to a higher frequency, everything is different and you see things differently. That's what they're wanting to, like, you see everything differently. You see your past differently. You see every soul differently. You see everything that happened in your life so far differently. You see where you're going differently. It's like you're looking through a different lens. That's what they're trying to tell me, because that's what I feel like I'm doing. Okay, now they show me the card once I'm done communicating that to you. Something about your situation is blocked. Okay, there could be some repressed emotions swirling around your current situation that need to be released. So this is about what you're rooting down in order to bloom. Anger in particular could be blocking you. Okay, this I get coming up because you have the Thorn card. This is a problem because emotions are just like water as you ride along the river of life. Block your emotions and it's as though the river has dried up, so you can no longer cruise or drift or even lurch forward. We'd all like straight answers to our questions, but sometimes the answer is inside you, and you need to release all that rubbish that is blocking the answer from surfacing. This card reminds you to practice self-care and process your emotions. It's a myth that being strong and silent is healthy. That's what I think this is about. It's healthier to allow yourself to express your emotions, and that may be exactly what you need to do now as a response to your current situation. If you believe that insecurity on your part is currently holding you back from success, this card is a reminder that you can only work on yourself. Be honest about your feelings. You may have lost your way and need to recalibrate. The image of the moon falling is a scary one in some ways, because without the moon, the Earth spins out of orbit. Similarly, without processing our feelings, we can also spin off our path. This card relates to the moon in fall in Scorpio. Okay, so that could seem completely opposing to everything we've been talking about so far, but I see this because depending on where you're at a spectrum, you've either already processed that and you know exactly what I'm going to say and talk about, or if you're just coming into this, you may be experiencing this because I went through this, like, call it sacred rage. The sacred rage, she was raging within me. I'm sure we all have, a series of events in my childhood, or not even a series of events, a complete existence for a period of decades that was about pleasing other people, doing things that I was not in alignment with, not listening to my own voice, shoving down my own voice to the point that I had physically so many throat issues, guys. I cannot tell you. That's how one of the first ways I came into my spiritual path was because I had to figure out this spirit body connection, because I had so many specific throat issues, like strep throat over 10 times. Throat issues that were caused by a gastroesophageal reflux disorder, where I felt like my throat was closing and I couldn't swallow. Problems speaking, like terror at speaking, to the point that I couldn't, if you can believe it, because now I'm a chatty Cathy, I could not speak. Like I could not get the words out in like my 20s. Like I would feel something and I could not get myself to say it. It was like my tongue was locked, my throat was locked. I just had too much anxiety to even get it out of my body. I felt like I had to hurl myself off a cliff to speak. Like it was like, okay, I just want to say, you know what I mean? And I developed this habit of speaking really, really quickly because I was so in terror of speaking that I felt like I had to just get it out because it was just going to burst, inside of me if I didn't. And I repressed a lot of things and I kept a lot of things down. So as a result of that, the blocks, they'd be blocking. I went through a period of like anger, rage, like just complete, I would just burst out like angry for nothing. I would have such a short fuse. I was like, oh my gosh, just so many things. It's all coming back to me. But I just didn't know, I didn't realize what was going on, which was that I had repressed for so long. I hadn't been processing, I hadn't been allowing myself to experience these things. I hadn't been channeling them in any sort of way. I wasn't journaling, I wasn't meditating, I wasn't moving or dancing or running or, getting it out. I wasn't speaking it out. And it was just in my body, like the tension. I would go to a massage therapist in my like 20s and they would be like, you feel like you have boulders in your back. Like it's wild. Like what is going on? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. I've just been repressing 20 years of anger. And so I understand this, pal. So you, depending on where you are at that spectrum, you may have already transformed that, come to terms with your truth, speaking your voice. You're now in this place of, I don't need to speak up anymore. I don't need to challenge. I don't need, like, I know what is my truth and I move towards it. Or you may be at the point where you're like, I have some things to say and it's part of your healing and your journey to express them. Now, I'm not proud of everything that I ever said and did because mine was very uncontrolled. Like, I did not know what was happening and I didn't know how to channel it. And I did a lot of like self-reflection, like a lot, and self-exploration about like, where is this coming from? So, like, no judgment. Like, I'm telling you from myself that I don't have the answers about that. So, you have to, I don't know how, I don't know what is the best way. I know that things like talk therapy can help for some people. For some people, that makes it worse because it just brings it all out in the open. Do you know what I mean? And their process is different. Their process is an internal process of alchemization. Maybe journaling is the way for them, or speaking things out to themselves privately. Maybe nature is the way that they heal. Giving it to Mother Earth by, like earthing and being in like salt water or healing bodies of water or things like this. I don't have the answer for you. All I can tell you is to go inwards, meditate, reflect on what works for you. Because the thing is, I don't regret it because it was a journey for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't wish that I could have put it all in a box with a bow and been like, oh, this was my journey to self-expression and processing my emotions and releasing my blocks. And it was really pretty and graceful. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't regret that it was really messy and, like, I don't even know what the word is. It was messy and it was like harsh at times, I guess is the word. And I don't know for us what things, do you know what I mean? Like, maybe those things needed to be heard by certain people, So like, I don't have regrets for that. All I can tell you is that that's how it was for me. So don't feel bad if it's not pretty. Like, it wasn't pretty for me when I processed all of the things that I had locked down. But it was completely enlightening overall. Like, it brought me to where I am now and to this bloom of who I am and this expression, self-expression and creative blah, blah, blah of my gifts. But that's coming up for you. So if there is something that you need to process, I would explore that. I can't tell you how, but I can just tell you to explore that. If you do have anger or sacred rage, or, how to channel that, how to process that, how to move it out of your body, exploring that, educating yourself, reading what you need to read, or just flying by the seat of your pants like I did. Of course, I want to say disclaimer, we don't want to, hurt anybody else and create a chain of pain. So I would encourage you, to responsibly channel your anger and rage, but I can't tell you that I did. I definitely let it out at some people who I was like, who were really pushing my boundaries and who I had a lot of pent up rage towards. Like, I mean verbally. I didn't, obviously. I'm not saying like, I'm saying I said things, that probably could have been said in a nicer way. But in hindsight, even though I have no regrets, now I can see how there's other ways to approach that. Where, in my very young mind, I did not have those tools. So if you have the ability to find the tools for how to process that and communicate these things, then I would encourage that, is what I'm saying, because we don't want to cause any more harm. But I will say, people sometimes need to hear these things. That could be a part of your own healing and your own journey to express. There's two sides to this. There's definitely the expressing of your boundaries and an expressing of blocks and pent up emotions, where you feel that it's healthy and necessary. But then there's also this do nothing energy, where it's like the other side of that coin is just going inwards, being with yourself, doing your inner work, doing your reflecting, because there may be people who you can't express to, right? People may have passed from this earth, they may be outside of your realm, or it may not be safe for you to interact with them. So in that case, that's a different approach. That's writing a letter, to someone that you never send. That's having a conversation with someone who's actually not in front of you, and getting it out. Like, there's different methods for the do nothing. There's allowing for alchemy and allowing for just complete white golden light to just heal and transform any of those energies that you don't maybe have the strength or feel that you want to reapproach. You know what I'm saying? It's different for everybody, but whatever method is for you, that's being encouraged. So let's move on from the what you're rooting, because that is a lot of beautiful things, into the what you are blooming into, all about this bloom and this transformative energy that you're moving into. I cannot wait to navigate this and explore this. For pile 3, tell us all about this bloom now. They've done the rooting, or they're doing the rooting. It's in the process, wherever they are, about all of these things, expressing their truth, undergoing this transformation, addressing these blocks, moving into a state of openness and allowing, as opposed to defending and justifying and explaining. And what does this bloom look like as a result in their life? This bloom. You could be a singer or start to channel your energy into really creative methods. I'm not surprised that 2 cards came out that I've never got and I've never read. So let's explore this together. I want to read them for you, because whenever I get a card I haven't got before, I like to also approach it at the level that you're approaching it at, which is newness, unless you have this deck. This is the Inner Temple deck. So first, let's read Chamber of Soul Contracts. And it reads, the Chamber of Soul Contracts appears as a confirmation that what you're currently experiencing or being called to experience is a part of your soul's plan. What are you being called to do, and what support do you need? Call it in, call it in, call it in. Okay, maybe I have got this before because I remember reading this. It's a mistake to believe that you're here on your own, that answering the call you feel in your heart is solely up to you. You being here matters to those who came here to walk alongside you. Your presence lights up the way for them, and their presence lights up the way for you. We each hold a thread for the healing of humanity. We didn't come here alone. We came here as weavers, each to play our part and embody our soul in our own unique way. There are helpful people here to support you on your journey. Maybe you already know them by name, or perhaps it's time for you to call them in more fully, to make them feel appreciated, named, and known. There are souls who are here to assist you on behalf of humanity. For the more deeply you step onto your soul's truest path, the more deeply others will be able to do the same. That's a huge part of your bloom. If there's something you're called to do, there's a team of people who are here to help you do it. Okay, so a huge part of your bloom is that phrase there. They highlighted for me. The more deeply you can step onto your soul's truest path, the more deeply others will be able to do the same. Excuse me. Your bloom is about you fearlessly embracing your soul's true path, the trueness of you, whatever that is, because I get the feeling that it's against the norm, you know what I mean, in multiple ways. And you've probably been criticized for that and tried to be influenced out of that path, because you're creating fear in others, right? Because people try to control what they don't understand. So if you're doing something that they didn't do, it's going to be like, oh, don't do that. Why are you doing that? Why are you thinking that? Why are you working there? Why are you in this relationship? Why are you moving there? Why aren't you doing it the way I did it? So part of your blooming is that you are an example to others around you who are like, wow, they came and they lived their life on their terms. And by golly, if that doesn't inspire me to do the same in some way in my life. And then you have mercy. Mercy. I think that's a song, a country song I'm hearing. Mercy, compassion, tenderness. This is what the world most needs. Peace isn't possible without this. Oneness isn't either. Mercy is the medicine for humanity in these divisive times, especially when we're not extending it to ourselves. Let the dehumanizing stop. May the division melt away. Within the collective and within ourselves, life is full of experiences that cause the heart to harden, to close over, or to shut off in an effort to protect or avoid, which I think is the past energy you've been experiencing. But this hardening, closing, shutting down prevents us from receiving joy, peace, and love that we most long for and need. Mercy, compassion, and tenderness can soften what has hardened, melt what has frozen over, and open what has closed. So often we keep score, but no one wins that game. Oof, so true. When we're hurt, it's easy to shame and blame, disconnect, and separate. When we've been harmed, it's a natural reflex to fight back. Yeah, this is what we talked about with this do nothing. Not do nothing like let somebody come at you, but do nothing like you no longer feel the need to defend because you're so rooted in your own path that if that's where you're at. I'm not talking about someone, if you're in a place where you need to defend yourself, then you need to defend yourself. It is what it is. We're all at different phases, but if that's the place where you're at, where you're used to saying to people, this is why I don't want to do that. This is why I don't want to work there. This is why this is who I choose for a relationship partner. This is what, and you kind of come to this realization that you don't need their alignment, you don't need their cosign, you don't need their resonance. You have your own resonance and your own alignment, and that's enough. So you don't need to keep fighting this battle with people who will never understand you. That's the context that we're talking about. Not fighting back. But if we truly are all connected, then what's done to one is done to many, which means it's done to us too. What if we were all to do our best in this thing called life? Are you or someone in your life hungry for mercy? How can you offer it? If you or someone else is hard, harsh, or brittle, offer a little tenderness. I welcome compassion, tenderness, and mercy from the world around me, and I offer it to the world too. That can be hard to hear depending on where you are in your state of forgiveness, in your chamber of forgiveness. If you're from pile 2, they had that card. So part of your blooming is you coming into that energy of mercy where you're like, you know what? I no longer need you to fall on your sword. It is what it is. And you're no longer in my life. I'll give you an example. I've talked about this before. The one and only time that I know of that I experienced infidelity was a couple of years ago, and it literally ripped my heart out. Like I've never experienced such, on so many levels, betrayal and confusion, and just like I knew it was part of my soul's journey because the healing that it brought after and like the just complete upgrading in my energy was just needed, and that was clearly the path of least resistance for me to experience that within myself. But it was big feelings, it was big emotions, and on top of which, because of my soul gifts, we all have that, but because mine are fairly in tuned, I knew that was coming, and I self-betrayed. I said, no, I want this, even though I know that this is what's happening. At some point, I could feel this coming. Even though all the signs were there, my intuition was telling me, I stubbornly wanted to force the square peg into a round hole because I'm stubborn. And so I was mad at myself that I betrayed myself, right? Because I knew that this was most likely going to happen on this timeline. And I was like, not shocked. Do you know what I mean? But then I was like mad at myself. Like I did it to myself. Does that make sense? Like there's a couple of levels of the betrayal there. The person, myself, and I'll tell you, because of the circumstances of my situation, I won't get into it, but trust me when I say this person was still in my world. I was not able to, and this is why I know this was such a life lesson for me, because my go-to is to leave, block, remove myself from the situation. If you do something to me that I'm like, ooh, that's not in harmony with me, that's not on my path, that's no thank you, I just remove myself from the situation. Like, I no longer will speak, I'll let you know. I'm very practical. Like, hey, this is not for me. Thank you very much. God bless. Live your best life, and goodbye. But I remove myself from engaging with that person or circumstance energetically. But this I could not. And that's why I knew it was like me and my guides. I was like, you guys put like this situation. I know that this is on my path because I could not run from this one. The person was in my world. Like I said, I won't get into circumstances, but I had to see them every day. Not interact with them like deeply, but I had to see them. So I kept being reminded of it. And man, if I tell you, I was like the harshness, the bitterness, this person like fell on their sword over and over and over and over and over. I just seemed to not be satisfied with the apologies. I was like, nope. Yeah, still, it's a no, And then finally I came to this place within myself after some deep healing, probably I would say like 6 to 8 months in, that I moved into the mercy energy where I was like, why am I holding myself here? I'm holding myself in an energy of tension and, like punishment because I knew I was justified. Like, I was so right that it was absolutely indisputable that I was right in the situation, that this person had done me wrong. I knew I didn't want to be in that energy, but I was like locked into it. And then I finally just reached a frequency where I was in mercy. And I was like, you know what? And I literally just said to him, like, it's fine. Like, it's not fine what you did, but we've said what needs to be said, and I'm moving on because I don't want to keep engaging with you in this energetic dance. I would like to move on. You have my, whatever, blessing. Like, I'm not holding us in this anymore. It's done. It's over with. I accept your apology. I understand that where you were and where I was, and we were not in alignment, and it is what it is, and what happened, and thank you and goodbye, and I was actually able, after that, I was able to physically remove myself from that situation. Like this, because of the circumstances, I couldn't before, but I was able to physically release myself from that situation. The opportunity presented itself, and I was like, oh, perfect. Now I actually don't have to see this person every day anymore. It was wonderful. So it's funny how those were connected now that I think about it. So that story could be meaningful to you because that's coming up. Let's get this Healing Waters deck. Yeah, your bloom is freedom. You no longer care. You no longer feel bound. You no longer feel connected. Like, I don't want to say you no longer care, but you kind of don't. Like, you move into a clearer space where the things from the past, like, it's showing me this transformation energy. It's like you're no longer all knotted up and tied up in your cocoon. You're fully free of it, and you literally leave it behind. You fly away from it, literally, is what this next bloom is about. That could have to do with this mercy energy or this Chamber of Soul Contracts energy. It's complete transformation. You completely release, which means it's complete freedom. You're lighter. You're freer. You know yourself. You know your boundaries. You know your needs. You're clear about it. You don't feel conflicted. You don't over-explain. You don't people please. You're purely yourself as the butterfly. And that's free because you can go wherever you want to go. Like I said, all of the different flowers and experiencing that. I don't know, did I say that in this pile or was that pile too? Now I'm questioning myself, but that's what I'm seeing. You flitting like a butterfly to all the different flowers, and your world is just expanded. Strongest energy for the bloom that pile 3 is going into here, please. Ooh, 2 cards flew out here. Oh, one is the rainbow. Oh, it's the rainbow. And one is the pearl. The pearl could literally describe your entire reading here. We'll start with that. Alchemy. That's what we were saying. It's deep alchemy. The reward at the end, from grit to grace. Like, I'm just seeing someone playing like a card game and just throwing their cards down, like full house, all pairs, straight, flush. I don't know the terms. But it's like you open this up and you have the pearl and you are experiencing the pearl, and your bloom is the receiving of the gifts of the grit that you went through, and the experiencing of the freedom of creating the life that you have created, that you now live for yourself, that you walk on the path that is your path. You no longer are walking down paths that don't fit. You're no longer your bloom is that you're now walking in shoes that are perfectly suited to you, because you made them and you designed them and they're perfectly you. And you're no longer walking in shoes that don't fit, feel uncomfortable, are blocking you, are cramping you, are hurting you. Absolutely beautiful. Obviously, we know what that pearl card means. I'm not going to read that to you, but I am going to read you this rainbow card, because it says sweet relief, new beginnings, a new way forward, and that is the bloom perfectly that you are coming into. There are countless myths from all corners of the world that feature rainbows. In most cases, the rainbow symbolizes a bridge between heaven and earth and is a sign of good fortune. Perhaps the most widely known story comes from Irish folklore. It says there's a pot of gold waiting at the end of the rainbow, guarded by a leprechaun. In Norse mythology, Bifrost, the rainbow bridge, connects Earth with Asgard, home of the gods. Ancient Japanese folklore says rainbows are bridges that ancestors of humans took to descend to the earth. In the Old Testament book of Genesis, God sets the rainbow in the sky as a comforting symbol to humanity. In this oracle, the rainbow is here to comfort and reassure you that your future is full of hope. If you've been going through a challenging time lately, the rainbow is your sign. There are clear skies ahead. Rest deeply in the knowledge that the rainbow brings, with its sweet feeling of relief and a simpler future. There are new beginnings beckoning you forth. There's a clear and vibrant way forward, and the path is steady, with opportunities for deep joy, safety, comfort, and peace. I'm ready to welcome the new beginnings that are waiting for me. Such a poignant, appropriate card for your reading. I'm so happy for you for this beautiful bloom, this majestic, multifaceted rainbow bloom, where you know who you are, you know your path, you know what is for you and what's not for you, and you've done the work and you've rooted in the conversations or the boundaries or the systems or the rituals or the methods, whatever it is that works for you, the therapy, the healing, whatever it is that comes along with moving into this beautiful blooming energy. You've done the work. You've done the work, or you're doing the work for sure. And you are ready to experience yourself in this sweet relief, new beginning, new way forward energy. And I love that beautiful picture. I love the alignment of your reading, this transformation energy. It's just absolutely stunning and appropriate and aligned. I'm really honored to have been in your energy and read for you. Thank you so much for being here and for trusting me to bring through these messages. I hope you found them helpful and comforting. If you did feel called to another group, then I will see you there shortly. And if not, it will be in another reading on another day. Bye. Hello, pile 4. Welcome to your reading. You have the return, a new story. You decide alignment. It's coming together with this beautiful crystal. Now, all about your next bloom is what we are doing today in the reading. I'm going to start with this reading from the book, but I have to tell you, your reading is happening way later in the day, because I had this sense, usually I just film all the readings and then I stop for like dinner or lunch or whatever I'm doing. And I felt very strongly to not rush your group. Not that I rush any of the groups, but not film until I felt like I had the perfect amount of fuel. Like I literally went and made a vegetable gluten-free pasta and then came back. So I feel very satiated, very ready to do this, very full of energy, but I feel like that has meaning to you. I feel like this is the energy that you're in. You're not rushing yourself, you're self-nurturing, you're taking what you need, you're it was like an honoring. Like it was like I just felt that you guys, you know, I wanted to give you my best, fullest energy. But so let's read from your book. You've waited patiently. Oh, okay. I didn't know that was coming. I swear. You've waited patiently for this moment because I was eating my dinner and making a veggie pasta. You've likely, so that's hilarious. You've waited patiently for this moment in your life. You've likely been working on the inner for some time now, and the outer is beginning to come into alignment. As changing beings, we're in a never-ending growth cycle. That doesn't mean that we're constantly in bloom. No, it means we're constantly changing. This card is like the bloom. However, it's more powerful than that. It heralds the coming and going of a whole new way of being. An entirely new story has been written. This card heralds a great shift in your life. This often takes time, sometimes lifetimes. Acknowledge how far you've come, how much you've grown. You're part of creating change, not only in your life, but in the world. Take a moment to take it in. You're just one of many, but your being here matters. A petal in the rose of a new humanity, part of the forever unfolding. Things are aligning for you and around you. They're convening and coming together. You're in the right place at the right time. Your outer world matches your inner world. This card is delivering a message of harmony, coming together, and the embodiment of holding a clear vision for many years. Wow, that must feel amazing. You've been doing the groundwork to get to this moment right here, perhaps for months, years, or even lifetimes. Use this moment. You get to decide what happens next. I acknowledge how far I've come and how much I've grown, and I decide what happens next. You know what you're doing. You know your craft. You know how to create your own reality. You understand your inner world. You've been working at things. You probably are a teacher, a healer, a guide in some regard, if not in spiritual realm, in the 3D realm, which is all the spiritual realm, but you know what I'm saying. And yeah, that's what I felt when I felt this honor, like a reverence for you, which of course I have for everybody and every pile. If I felt that for another pile, of course I would also wait too, but I'm just saying I felt it in your pile. Your energy and your presence required me to come at my best to the reading and not to kind of stretch myself thin in order to make a certain timeline or a deadline for myself. It was this patient energy, like the beginning of that page read. You've been waiting patiently for this. It was like this, there's no need to rush it. If I need to refuel, your energy would wait for me to refuel and come back. So that must be telling for something here. So how we're doing these readings are we're pulling a card for what are you rooting in right now in order to bloom, because of course like a plant can't bloom unless it's rooted in. So what are you anchoring in your energy at the strongest energies, because it could be multiple things, and then what's the strongest energy that describes this bloom you're coming into. So let's start with that. I've really enjoyed this reading. You might have gone to more than one pile, I'm sensing. Okay, so that's your rooting. And for the blooming, yeah, see how I didn't even have to I'm taking these, ask the question. Your energy is at the frequency where you have the answer before you have to ask the question. You have solutions before the problem occurs. It's almost happening simultaneously, which means you're really up to speed with your most expanded self, which is beautiful. So what you're rooting in is consciousness. The way I'm not surprised that you got an ethereal, nebulous, big energy card. The other ones were more like 3D things. Yours, of course, is like absolute one consciousness and awareness. And so you're rooting that in, clearly. We've been talking about that since we sat down here. And your bloom is, overcoming rejection, because that was in reverse. And Sorry about that. I am back. My daughter dropped her water bottle and it made a loud clatter and alarmed me. So I went to check on her. So, yes, and you had sadness in reverse. But sometimes when there's an interruption in the video, it is for a purpose. Well, it's always for a purpose. It allows me sometimes to process the information. So as I was talking to her and whatever, filling the water pitcher and stuff, I was thinking, I wonder why they would get rejection in reverse and sadness in reverse and not just get happiness or confidence. Like, why not just get the light aspects of these two instead of getting them in reverse? Because I don't take reversals unless I feel strongly it's meant to be that way, and I feel strongly these two are meant to be in reverse for you for your chapter of blooming. I mean, even logically that makes sense. But my guide said, because sometimes when you see the opposite of what you once struggled with, it's more poignant and powerful. So if you had just got happiness and confidence, you might be like, okay, well, that's nice. But to know that you've overcome a fear of rejection or a sense of rejection or a sense of not belonging, and that you've overcome sadness or anxiety or feeling of the blues or anything like this, or just feeling generally unhappy in life, and that you're blooming into the light aspects of these two things, they said it's more powerful. So I'm going to trust that that's why they came that way. So first, let's explore this consciousness, what you're rooting into in order for this to bloom. I'm very curious. This is fascinating how this is unfolding. For pile 4, what can you tell us about what is blooming in their life and what they are rooting in order for this bloom to fully unfold and occur? And of course, we're always blooming. We're constantly evolving and expanding. We're just talking about where you are right now, kind of what's next energy. Okay, you don't want this deck. That's the deck that I pulled for everybody else first. But I'm not surprised your energy is not behaving in the normal way. Okay. Okay, card 6, moving on. So you moved on. You moved on. Yeah, heartache and loss. Okay. I don't mean to like giggle, whatever. It's just, it's so clear. Like, you have sadness and rejection in reverse, and then you have the 3 of Swords come up with what you've had to root or anchor in or embody or deal with or release in order for this bloom to come in. So you had to move on from something, and you've been through a massive heartache. And I don't think you would say move on. I don't think that's, I think you've had to let go, or you've had to come to terms with that something was not going to be, whether that's the death of somebody or the death of a relationship or an ending, or a very difficult childhood or a very difficult adulthood. You've dealt with a lot of pain in this lifetime. And I'm so sorry for that. I never know what to say, I always want to acknowledge it. Like, I don't want to just be like, you dealt with a lot of pain. So anyways, like, it's just, it never feels enough, right, to say, like, what do you say? But I acknowledge that, I guess is all I can say. So in order for this bloom to occur, you've come to terms, you've elevated your consciousness. Your inner awareness is expanded. You've had to have a lot of deep, in-depth, come to Jesus moments with yourself. You've had to reflect on a lot more than, a normal incarnation would. Your path has been quite intense so far, I would say. And so that's allowed you to see things from a different perspective than you would have otherwise, than maybe most of society has. You have a heightened state of consciousness, I would say. What else can you tell us about pile 4, what they've had to root in order for this bloom that we'll talk about next to come forth? Oh, okay. I just got a really intense searing pain in my right hip, like on my lower back. right lower back hip. I channel sensations a lot through my physical avatar. So if that's you, if you're experiencing that or you're coming through something that involved that, then this could be just a message that you're in the right place, acknowledgement of your energy here. Again, I'm so sorry if you went through that. Okay, so fourth chakra. Okay, so heart chakra. Sorry, the reason I'm saying that is because the reason I'm saying it in that way is because I can't remember what pile 2, I realized and I noticed that pile 1 dealt strong without intention, dealt strongly with themes of the root chakra. Then pile 2 dealt strongly with themes of the sacral and solar plexus. And I said, I wonder, I can't remember what. Oh my goodness, pile 3 did deal with. Yeah, it did deal with the throat chakra and expression. I just realized that. I kind of forgot about it there. And I wondered if a pile would have the heart chakra. And here it is. You might have messages in the reading that I just posted before this, because this was one of the resonant cards. So if you resonated with this card, heart chakra. Yeah, you have the Three of Swords. Like, you have had to really heal and open and work through things to leave your heart chakra open and gentle and functioning, is the best way that I can put that. Okay, I'm gonna get. Oh, they would like this now. Okay, we're ready for this now. What else has pile 4 had to? Okay, now I have a very itchy in my left foot and ankle. If you had something occur there. Self-regulation. Okay, this came up in pile 2, I think. Exalted moon, also a bull, could be Taurus energy here. Yeah, you had to figure out self-regulation. Your childhood might have been like all on you. You know, like you might have, or even into adulthood, into like a marriage or something like this, where you had to realize, I am my own soothing, I am my own nurturing, I am my own safe place, because you might have felt very alone or abandoned. I'm getting with this rejection. Okay, the pain in my back, right hip, it's such a weird place, is intensifying. So let me see if there's something there I need to say. If Louise Hay was here, I would ask her what that means. Louise, if you could pop in, join the chat. Back right. Emotional wounding? Okay. I feel like that's obvious, but is it regarding something? Feelings of rejection and loss. I was kind of hoping for something that wasn't already on the table. Okay, let me just move on and we'll see if it pops in. Sometimes when I'm directly looking for the answer, my frequency is too much in the question and I have to just let it pop back up a little bit for the answer. It's a slight shift. Okay, so I think we're very clear. I don't want to get too heavy into this energy. I think you know what happened. It's coming through in the reading. We see what you've been through. We see what you had to work on and root and plant and nurture, and the soil that you had to till in order for this bloom to come in. There's like a heavy acknowledgement energy here, from your guides and ancestors saying like, you did that. You got through this. You never gave up hope. You never gave up faith. You kept going. You built yourself up. You pulled yourself up, they're saying, and put yourself back together. Wow. My heart chakra is like sometimes it feels like my heart chakra is crying, but like from release, not from hurt. Like it's it's a resonance of being understood. It's like, oh yeah, it's a resonance. It's a heart resonance. That's the only way I can describe it. Like a bursting of like, oh, thank you, type of feeling. I can feel that from somebody. Okay, let's talk about some brighter things. Not that there's anything wrong with the darker things. I feel like you're very familiar there, but I know you came to this reading, you clicked on this reading because it was about what is blooming for you, all about your next bloom. And like, I'm really not surprised now that we've read this energy that you have this card with the return, a new story, you decide. It's all coming together. It's like you really unraveled that ball of yarn. And now you get to decide what you're going to make. Like, now you earned that. Not that you had to earn it. Like, that's not why we come here or anything like that. It's just you really are the one who gets to paint this picture now, because you are the one that took the time to figure out all of the pieces, in the puzzle, or unravel that ball of yarn they're showing me. So let's talk about what is this new bloom? Oh, yes. Okay, so the pain has gone in my hip. Your hips are about flexibility, and your hips bear, like, it's your balance point, the weight of things. Yeah, that pain was you having to bear more than you should have. A heavier burden, carrying a heavier burden than you were designed. Well, I don't say you were designed for, but you know what I'm saying, that you should have had to carry. Okay. So you're blooming. Tell us all about Pelfor's blooming, and like, don't hold back. Like, give it all to us, because I want everything. Oh, Solar Retriever. I'm really not surprised that came up. I've never read from this guidebook for that particular one, so I'm going to read it for you, because I feel like that was just for you. Sometimes when a card has never come out before, I feel like it's waiting just for this moment for this group of people. Soul retrieval. You're definitely going to be feeling relief in this new bloom, because I feel such relief at that pain being gone in my right hip back area. Oh, okay. Thought I knew where it was. This card can appear for two reasons. Firstly, because a part of your soul, a lost part of, sorry, let me start that again. Sorry. Sometimes when I'm reading, I'm channeling at the same time, and like my mouth's saying the words, but I'm not like fully aware because I'm channeling something. So let me just read this and then we'll channel. This card can appear for two reasons. Firstly, because a lost part of your soul is wanting to return home to you. Sometimes the loss, shame, or hurt we experience is too great. Yeah, okay, definitely relates to this pile. It's too great, and part of our soul leaves our body. When this happens, it can feel like a part of us is missing, or we're not quite ourself. Secondly, it can be because your soul is trying to get your attention. Perhaps you've been spending too much time living from your head rather than your heart chakra. Maybe your soul is longing for you to listen to it, express it, and spend time with it. This card can come as a warning to wake up and remember the soul. The soul can be likened to both the ancient wise part of you and the divine child within. The divine child within, I think, is being highlighted for you. The ancient Greeks spoke of two different types of time, chronos time and kairos time. Chronos time is linear, logical time, the time of the mind. Kairos time is soul time, creative time, mystical time. This card is inviting you to spend more time here in Kairos time. What does your soul most want you to do? What's your soul most yearning for? And how do you feel most connected to your soul? How can you call more and more of your soul back into your body and the center of your life? And the activation reads, I call all parts of my soul to be here now. So this bloom is heavily related to reconnecting with the essence of who you are. They're showing me it's like you came here, you incarnated, and then immediately that part of you was had to go second or third or fourth. Like, it was not on the priority. Like, you did not have time, or the emotional, like, your soul's always with you. It's just it wasn't the time for meditation or inner reflecting or following your passions or exploring, what lights you up. That's not what the beginning of your life allowed for. And so now that you've moved through this heartache and loss, you've moved on from it, you've self-regulated, you've worked on your heart chakra is opening back up, you are returning to yourself, and your soul wants to experience and express here on earth. A huge part of this bloom for you, and nobody else got this message even close, is they stopped me there. Hold on a second, let me get the right word. Is experiencing the energy of your divine inner child now again at this point in your life. For example, play, innocence, softness, tenderness, awe, wonder. Like, you may find yourself saying things like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. Like, look at the sun. Look at, like, things that you did not have the luxury or the opportunity to experience in your own childhood here on earth. Every time I talk about your past, the right hip starts searing. That heavily has to do with releasing something from your past. If you are experiencing some sort of physical, of course, listen to medical experts. We're not allowed to say on YouTube anything regarding health. This is a spiritual perspective. You always have to, we encourage you to trust your medical team and whatever you need to do. This is a spiritual perspective, which you can approach holistically if you are experiencing something in your hip or your right lower back. From a spiritual perspective, could have to do with lightening your memory of that, or something, lightening your burden of that. Okay, let's keep going about the bloom. They're very particular about your cards. Okay, so what card from here would you like? Okay. Sorry, I'm not getting it. There we go. We will make it really obvious, ma'am, miss. Okay, so, interesting, you got chopped wood. Yeah. Okay, so the chopped wood carry water, and it came in reverse, so I'm going to address it in reverse. So I'll tell you what it means in upright. The chopped wood carry water, oh, well, it says chopped wood, but the phrase chop wood, carry water is like doing the daily things that we have to do. You got to chop wood to keep the fire going. You got to carry water from the well so that you have water to drink. Now, it came in reverse for you, which is showing me like you've moved out of the time where you have to do these kind of daily grind. You could be retired, for example. You could be very financially stable now. Or this is the energy you're moving into, because it just depends where you're coming to this reading on the spectrum of the generality of this group. You might have just been in this energy, you might be moving through this energy, you might be currently experiencing this energy, or this could be something that's coming up for you in the next 3 months or so, where you no longer have to, basically, I know it sounds silly, but you no longer have to chop wood. Like, that is a laborsome task. It's exhausting, it's hard to do. But sometimes we have to do things, like we have to work multiple jobs, or we have to, drive certain distances, or we have to do certain things to make sure we have a roof over our head. And so this card coming in reverse for you is showing me that your bloom is going to be more fully supported. You're going to have more resources. For instance, you might have someone to chop the wood for you. This is metaphorically I'm saying, right? But literally, you might have someone to chop the wood for you too, if you still have a wood burning fire. If you do, I want to say lucky you, because I was just thinking about how I wish I had a crackling real fire and not my electric fireplace. It doesn't make the crackling noise. But anyways, okay, let's go. Keep going. They're like, ma'am, please stop talking. Okay, more for pile 4. What are they blooming? What does it look like? Can you describe it to them? Yeah, they keep showing me these 2 cards while I'm shuffling this. You're gonna feel so much belonging. This rejection in reverse, you will feel so accepted, but it's like, it's not even accepted because there was never anything wrong with you that you wouldn't be accepted. It's like, it's not like, oh, we accept you now. It's not like that. It's just that you will feel the sense of belonging. You will feel comfort. You will feel like, I belong here, whether you're just by yourself on your own island or you're in a community or you have friends or family around you or you found your own tribe. You will feel in this next bloom like, I have people who truly care about me around me. I have a sense of belonging. And not only that, I feel like you're highly regarded in this next chapter of your life. It's like people maybe go to you, or you're seen as an expert on things, or as, a leader in some sort of regard. And I feel like you literally just, you no longer feel this sadness. You no longer feel this weight, you no longer feel this separation. That's what it is. You feel whole, you feel fulfilled, you feel a deep sense of satisfaction, you feel at peace. Because it's not like it's an elated, crazy, off the walls happiness, although you are content. You just feel good. You feel like okay with the world, with things. You're so used to waking up and having so many like inner demons and feeling like mentally tortured that just the absence of that is enough. The relief of the absence of that, and just a feeling of clarity about your day, just a feeling of peace or ease about your day is ecstatic. Jumping off the wall joy to you, bouncing off the walls. More about their bloom. Interesting. You got Birth Mysteries, another card I have not read yet from the book, and the Sacred Well, which was one of the resonant cards in 2 readings ago, if you're from that pile. Replenishment, self-care, giving from a place of plenty. So the Sacred Well is about filling your own cup, and I feel like it's about time for you. Like, I feel like you have not had the opportunity to do that, like I said, and this is your time. This bloom is you literally blooming. This bloom is you fill whatever you need, you are giving it to yourself. You are self-nurturing, you are the self-care queen or king, you are you are just like, I almost want to say like recklessly, but it's not reckless. It's just that it's abundantly giving to yourself without, like, kind of like throwing caution to the wind. How someone might be like, oh, I'm just gonna sleep for 8 hours because that's all I need. You're like, if I need to sleep 24 hours, I am sleeping 24 hours. Like, if I need to get a massage, every week for 6 months and you have the means, then that's what I'm doing. If I feel like I need Reiki and you have the means, that's what I feel like that's what I'm doing. If I need to go ground in Mother Nature every day, twice a day, like, you're not putting limits on yourself and being like, okay, well, that's a little extreme. I don't need to sit in Mother Nature twice a day, once a week is enough. You're like, no, I need this. Like, this is what my soul is calling for, and this is what I'm giving to myself. If you have the means to give it to yourself, you will. That's what I'm seeing. And I want to read this Birth Mysteries. Water is intelligent, and where there's water, there's life. We are water beings. We travel from the watery world of the Great Mother to be born into this world, our first breath making the transition from water to air. We all grew from a single cell into a form in the waters of the amniotic sac of the Great Mother, and from there the same intelligence has been guiding us every step of the way. It's the same force that tells flowers when to bloom. That's funny because that's what the reading's about. And the planet to spin. You're a creative being living in a creative world. This is a planet of creativity and manifestation. Creativity is your natural state. What are you being called to create? Creativity isn't only for certain people, it's within us all. What would you like to create? Don't squeeze the hose. Loosen your grip. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing with that like reckless energy I'm saying. It's not reckless like risky, it's just wild abandon. It's wildness. It's a freeness. It's freeness. Don't squeeze the hose. Loosen your grip. Yeah, don't squeeze the hose. That's the name of your reading now. Loosen your grip and call the intelligent waters to flow through every step of the way. Then follow it up with consistent action. Embodied creativity happens when we have a vision and we act on that vision. Every idea in the world is pointless without this action. Stay true to what you're being called to create and show up day after day. What would you like to create, and how can you show up to that creation with consistency? I am getting that message for sure, like it's here, but there's a disclaimer. They don't want that to become something you push yourself on. They want it to stay in the realm of free flowing creativity. If one day you want to paint, if one day you want to film a tarot reading, if one day you want to practice Reiki, and then the next day you want to, like, it's create like that. It's not like limit yourself unless you feel called to like a certain structure or routine regarding something that you want to, maybe take from A to B or A to Z. Otherwise, it's like, they're showing me like you're sitting in the set and you're weaving, your basket weaving one day, and then you're drumming the next day. And then you're exploring like the Fae realm the next day, and you're, into like Celtic and Irish folklore. And then you want to go travel the next day. Like, and then you get into like a certain cuisine of cooking. It doesn't have to be a stagnant creation. Not that those type of creations are stagnant, but they're just saying it doesn't have to be some one thing. You're, like I said, it's calling you back into a I can't get this word they're saying to me, like it's like a re-experiencing, but it's like a word for experiencing something new and differently. Your childhood, in the sense that like you didn't, if you want to fly a kite, you go fly a kite. Like this, the creativity is, it's like they're showing me a multicolored rainbow tapestry woven, like it's in and it's out and it's around and it's about, it's exactly how a child would play. As an adult, I may say like, this is my creativity. Like I film these card readings and this is where I share my gifts, and this is where one of the ways I express my creativity. But see, there is still structure and routine to that, right? I'm on a certain platform, I do it in a certain style. That's one form of creativity, and you may be called to that also. But the one that's coming up here, the main one, is this fluid, wild, unrestrained. That's the word. Don't squeeze the hose, like the book said, where you let the water flow freely and you let your inner child come out like freely, unrestrained. And you follow the vein. You follow that river wherever it goes. You wake up and you feel like finger painting, you're finger painting. Then you're doing chalk sidewalks. Then you're like, there's, for some reason, like there's this acknowledgement of experiencing some things that you didn't. It's almost like gonna, like, I don't want to say like heal that inner child, because we're always healing. It's not like I'm trying to say like there's something wrong with you and you need to be healed, but it will almost like soothe and acknowledge that inner child. Like it's addressing it. Like, I've never come across this concept, so that's why I'm struggling with it a little bit, but I think you can see what I'm saying. It's really beautiful. Like, it's so magical. It's so wonder filled, like wondrous. I almost feel like that's a part of this bloom. And then once that's done and you've followed that vein out till you feel the fulfillment of it, like there will come a point where you move on to something else, where you're like, okay, that was so much fun and like an adventure, and it might last a week, it might last a day, it might last a month, it might last a year. But I see you being like, okay, that feels soothed, like that itch has been scratched, and now there's something else calling me, and I see you moving into your next bloom, like a next cycle. But that's what this bloom is about. It's about giving to yourself unrestrained, whatever you need, whether it's play, whether it's nourishment, whether it's self-care, whether it's self-love, whatever it is, it's going to create this like magnetic vortex they're showing me that calls all of your energy and soul and power back to you. And it kind of like like they just keep showing me like all the okay, this is what they're showing me. I'll just tell you what they're showing me instead of trying to explain it. What the concept is, like a puddle of water, and all the little droplets of water are coming back to you. So it's like the water was whole to begin with, but it's just kind of like recalibrating or rejoining itself. And that's this bloom that you're going into, this feeling of fullness and wholeness. And I'm going to get you one more card from this. Anything else you want to say to pile 4 about this bloom? What's blossoming for them? I heard soul purpose. So this could lead you to your soul purpose, or you could be exploring that here. You may be aware of that already. Yeah, I heard rejection is divine protection. If there's something that you felt not included on, or that a door closed, that could have been very intentional to protect you from something. Lord knows that's happened to me so many times, where I like think I want something, and then after I'm like, oh my gosh. Ooh, yeah, this makes so much sense for you. You got lifting the veil, questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. So accurate for this energy that we're touching on here. It's like I said, it's this like don't squeeze the hose. It's like you're just kind of not taking things at face value anymore. You know better, you know differently, you know the truth of things. You have seen enough to know what you need and what is right for you and what's in alignment for you. And I would say you don't take any bull. As I point to the bull on this card, you don't take any bull in this new bloom. You're like, listen, I have not come through what I have come through to sit here and let someone try to emotionally manipulate or gaslight or bulldoze me. I know who I am. I know what is for me. I know what is in alignment for me. I know what I'm willing to allow in my life, and what I am, happily moving away from and saying not for me. I see that strongly in this. You're blooming into this. They're showing me so many things at once. Yeah, they're showing me there could be people in your life. I want to say it's most likely family. With this lifting the veil, where you're like, we all know the type of, again, bull that's going on here. And, I'm not involving myself in this anymore. Like, you're like, no, thank you. I don't want to say you're like exposing things. You might be if that's your part of your path. But I see you more being like, I don't have to be here anymore, and I'm removing myself from this energy and this situation. For some of you, that could be, they're showing me also like a toxic work environment or something like this. Anything that's unaligned, I see you as an act of self-love, removing yourself from those situations. It's in that energy. It's in that energy. It's for you. It's because you are now like almost reparenting yourself. You are like your soul's protector, even though you have obviously oversoul and higher sources protecting you and angels and ancestors and all those things too. But I'm saying on this 3D plane, you are your biggest advocate. And it's like you've realized that and you're coming into that energy and you're standing firm in that in this new bloom where you're like, no, sorry, not for me. My social battery is drained. I won't be attending that. Sorry, this is too loud for me. I'm going to be going into over here in meditation, or I don't even see you saying sorry because there's no need to. I just see you standing in your truth and knowing. I'm trying to, for some reason, they're projecting like examples to me. I'm trying to see if there's one. Yeah, I'm just drawing a blank. Maybe you have examples. I'm not sure what they were trying to show me there. Is there anything else that we need for pile 4? Just because the reading progressed differently, I just want to do a triple check scan before I close it off. They would like one of these Angel Tarot. That's fine with me. Nobody else got that. You specials. Okay. What do you want to say directly to pile 4 is how they want that. The number 37 or the number 38 could be meaningful to someone. Also, the phrase a mother's love could be meaningful to someone. A mother's love. I don't know what that means or in what context. I just wanted me to say that phrase. Ooh, there's the card. Okay, you got the, okay, so yeah, we saw this with the chopped wood in reverse. King of Ariel, successful, stable, accomplished, powerful. Your plans are working out very well. Professional and financial success, using resources wisely. Like I said, you might have someone to chop wood for you now. I see you moving into, I don't know where to put this. We'll put it with the chopped wood card. This bloom, I just strongly feel like you're going to feel stable, accomplished, that you're at a point in your life where you can treat yourself, where you can give yourself what you need. That's what I'm seeing. You're out of the grind, you're out of the survival. Yeah, I heard this phrase in I think pile 1 or 2 also, out of survival into overflow. That's strongly what I feel with this sacred well, giving from a place of plenty. Yeah, you could end up doing charitable work or being like a philanthropist or something like this where you give back to the community. For some of you, I see that, or you may already do that. Yeah, they're happy with that. They have okayed the conclusion of your reading. I hope that was helpful to you, comforting. Thank you so much for being here and allowing me to read for you. It was fascinating, complex energy, and I'm really honored that you trust me to be your reader. I'm excited for this new chapter for you and this bloom that's going to be coming into your life, or that could be already here now. If you did feel called to another group, I don't think you would have, but it's possible you might have come from another one, like I said. But if you are going to another group, then I'll see you there shortly. And if not, I will see you in another reading on another day. Bye.